Primetime.
Primetime, that's the name.
Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.,
Son of a gun.
Matt Hayes,
His balls are different in person.
Mia O'Brien,
I don't know what they're doing.
and Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
Getting into a Friday, getting ready for the weekend. That last bit of football you saw last weekend, that's it. That's it. You might have to get into your Netflix, that My List that you set aside, or your Hulu, your Prime, whatever it might be, but minus some football, that is, this weekend. But there's plenty of other ones to get into. Big college hoop slate this weekend. Of course, Tiger back on the golf course, and plenty more to get into. A Friday, big hair, heavy metal, and we get it cranked out. Now, I know that we all go through a little bit of that kind of football depressive state, and then that's why maybe the XFL, Leon, and the UFL, and it's actually going to be officially the UFL, but the USFL and all that, they all said, hey, we're going to come in the springtime. We're going to give you something that you can get in on. You'll enjoy it. Nobody really paid attention to it. Football is your number one passion. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Now, what are you going to do when you're I can't believe I'm saying this to Leon Searcy. When you're ballless this weekend, what are you going to do?
Can you say that?
Yeah, I don't even know if I can.
He said it's done. It's done deal.
Yeah.
That's a new drop, JJ. Add it to
exactly.
the list.
What are you going to do?
He shot the free throw. Is in. Listen, I found myself at the watering hole watching. I told you this a couple of weeks ago. I found myself watching Monster Truck.
Yeah.
And Up the Hill motocross.
Yeah. So you are.
And I found it interesting. I had absolutely no idea what the hell they were doing, but I took notice. Absolutely. While I'm puffing in between puffs, I'm watching that. That's all that's on. That's all that's on.
Now, part of that, Coach L taking a couple too many L's. Otherwise, I think you'd be on that Miami basketball bandwagon.
Yeah, I peek a little bit into what Miami's doing basketball-wise. The men's basketball team sucks right now. They're terrible.
But college baseball starts today.
That is true.
So maybe,
and we've always had a decent baseball team.
Yeah, but if I'm betting my money on what Leon's watching, it ain't that.
It ain't that either. You're right. You're right.
It's the association.
So this is probably, I know JJ's a big fan of the NBA. He loves watching it. So this is probably the time I'll dip my toe into the water of the NBA and kind of, I'll follow my Lakers a little bit more intensely to see. And they'll break my heart like they always do.
I was going to say, speaking of nothing to follow, that's what's happening.
Yeah, they'll end up breaking my heart.
Well, it's perfect time. It's All-Star break. So
True.
It's just as the calendar turns in the association.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to go. And don't forget to listen to RJ's Open Gym on Sundays at 11 a.m. on 1010XL.
So now I got something to listen to. Now it's officially ball season.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so we'll just describe it. If you're nothing but a diehard football fan, you are ballless this weekend. What are you going to do? What is that other passion, sport, whatever it might be? You can hit the text line. Designed by Lifetime and closes at 641-1010. Definitely jump in on that. And then there might be like a Netflix series or whatever. And we always like these recommendations because Matt will do the deep dive when it comes to some of these. It could be any of the subscription streaming services.
You know what I started again while I was getting ready to die the last couple of days?
Yeah.
The Americans.
The Americans just the best.
Just phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, oh my God.
So are you watching? Did you jump back in or did you?
No, from the beginning. I watched the whole thing, but I'm starting from the beginning.
Oh, wow.
What's the base?
The concept is the Ruskies. They send people over to live as Americans, have kids, and they infiltrate the U.S. and it's spies.
Oh, really?
Oh, you'll love it. It's phenomenal.
Okay. It is good. It's Kerry Russell, Patrick. I can't think of his last name.
Matthew Rice.
See, I try not to take Matt advice and watching Netflix. Most of the stuff is very disturbing that he tells you to watch. I was trying to watch that movie you told me what was about. It was something Nightmare. What was it?
American Nightmare.
Nightmare?
The 3-part documentary on Netflix.
Listen, 10 minutes into it, I was like, this is too much for me.
You couldn't watch it?
Couldn't watch it. Too much. It's not good for my
Listen,
spirit.
this is the softer side of Surf.
No, there's no soft side of Surf. First of all, let me just get that right. No soft side of Surf.
You may be ballless, but you're not soft.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't feel right. My spirit didn't feel right while I was watching. I said I had to turn.
Did you get spooked?
I did. I did
Okay,
watch
now
it.
you're.
I love that. My spirit didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right. It feel right.
All right, let's head to that. This may or may not spook you.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We may be without football for the first weekend this calendar year, but the NFL never sleeps. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is being suspended 2 games for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substances policy, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. The policy violation is related to him using a prescribed medication without having a valid therapeutic use exemption. Ian Rappaport taking that report one step further, saying that the end of the Jimmy Garoppolo era in Vegas, sources confirm, as he is headed for a 2-game suspension, will not appeal, and will be released by the Las Vegas Raiders.
So does that mean he was like in a dark room with Aaron Rodgers, or what does that mean?
His marijuana card expired. That could have been it.
Or
could have been.
I actually don't think they get in trouble for that anymore because of the new CBA.
They especially when it's legalized in so many places, and I know they still technically test for it, but anyway, when they hit him with 2 games, a little surprised.
Well, I mean, listen, if you've been injured as much as he's been injured throughout his career, and he feels that he can make one more run at it, and whatever he needs to take to get him back together, then, 2 games doesn't seem that much.
So this is the official, what he tested for, I guess. It had to be a stimulant, a diuretic, or a masking agent.
I'm into all those.
But then he needed this therapeutic exemption card for them. Yeah. So I guess because it was doctor prescribed, whatever he was taking, even though technically it's against league policy. Interesting.
You're into the diuretic?
I'm into all of them. But I went to do my blood work, and they said that you might be dealing with a slight bit of anemia. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I eat nothing but protein. I got iron running through me. And they're like, well, the only other thing it could be is that you might have drank too much water coming in for your labs. I'm like, Yahtzee, that's what it was, because I was just trying to
fool them.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I want my A1C is up there. My triglycerides are up there. I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I'm watering it down as much as possible. And the diuretic is a blood pressure medicine or whatever.
So you get in trouble by TLD if your blood work is not right.
Oh, you better believe it. You better believe it.
I didn't know that.
Because believe it or not, she wants me to stick around a while. I can't figure it out. She raised the life insurance policy on me, and she still actually wants me to stick around, it's a mystery to me. It's a mystery. But if that's what he was doing, then he was trying to keep from something else being seen. Masking agent, diuretic. They're just trying to get that stuff out of your body.
Okay, he's late in his career.
Yeah.
All right. Your choice is, do you want to make $4 or $5 or $6 million being a backup or being a starter somewhere, and to do that you have to risk cheating, or do you want to just not be able to make a team because you're injured?
Yeah, and just think about it.
It's a very good bet for any of these guys late in your career.
And there was a time when Jimmy Garoppolo, when healthy, his win percentage was pretty solid. Now let's include one very important thing. He was on a good football team. He was either with the Patriots or he was with the San Francisco 49ers, a majority of his career with the 49ers. A lot of good around him. And I don't remember the number, but we would throw it out, Matt, quite often, that he was something in the neighborhood, and I'm just making up a number right now, but in the neighborhood of like 31-17. Yeah. I mean, he had a pretty dang solid record. And then you go to Vegas, you go to the Raiders, you look around, you're like,
stop while you're ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
You go to Vegas, ...
Yeah, and there wasn't nearly as much good around him, and it cost him his starting job, cost McDaniels his job. And so anyway, bottom line is he's bounced. And heck, Aiden O'Connell wasn't the worst thing that happened to him. Not like he's this over-the-top good quarterback, but he ain't the worst thing that happened to him. Now, the guy that came into the league this year, JJ, do you have that C.J. Stroud sound? Let me know if you got it, because the guy that came into the league this year and would be easily one of them that kind of turned it on its ear was the play of C.J. Stroud at quarterback, and he's even getting love for MVP talk next year because of the way he played. Well, you got to hear this, because this is Fred Taylor and company sitting down on their podcast. C.J. Stroud is their guest, and C.J. Stroud decides to go in on Freddie T because Freddie T went in on him about Ohio State not winning a natty.
It's tough to look back and be like, man, like we should have won it all. Like, yeah, no duh, but like sometimes it just doesn't shake like that, you know? So, well, where did you go?
I went to Florida.
Come on, man. What is we talking about?
I mean, but I won that. But CJ,
I'm thinking he went to Bama or something.
CJ,
what are we talking about?
But you say you talk about the window.
Too. Come on, what are we talking about? Y'all,
we won national championships.
We did too. What do you want to talk about?
I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's talk about the recency.
In the last 8 years.
What have y'all done? Nothing. So
It's hard to fight.
LSU
I
is maybe
can't win that fight.
one of the only teams. They only did one good year.
Look, I'm gonna lay down when I have to. I
yeah,
can't
come
win
on.
that
I'm
fight.
thinking you went to Bama or something. Like, what are you
I
talking
didn't go to
about?
Hey, you got to appreciate the back and forth. But, man, he was dissing Freddie T.
He
You
was.
can't do that.
He was this. It was very disrespectful. I didn't like that. But you know what Freddie should have done? He should have took off his belt and gave him a spanking. Because a lot of these young cats, they say, well, what are you doing here and now? But listen, there's no expiration date on greatness. Fred was great at his time. Yeah. All right? And respect that. That man, listen, I tell you what, that Ohio State team that he was on, he played that Spurrier team in '96, they would have got smoked.
Yeah, exactly.
They would have got smoked.
Yeah.
But you can only speculate because they'll never play. But listen, I like the kid's moxie. I like the fact I like it and I don't like it. I like the fact I like the fact that he went in on Fred.
Yeah, I mean on the surface, it's it's a nice little dig on the Gators. Okay, but the deep undertones of it, that dude's a dog.
Well,
that shows passion. Oh. It shows his desire to like fight. That's a leader, man. That's a winner.
But what cracked me up more than anything else is Freddie T. When C.J. Stroud says the last 8 years, what y'all done, that type of stuff, and Freddie's like, I can't. Right,
he said I got to lay down on this. Is what he said.
He said like all of a sudden you're asking me to defend Billy Napier, or as another one suggested to me yesterday. Thank you, Charles. Billy Vanilli, because he's a little bit of a fraud, and so it ain't easy to defend that. And so when you ask Freddie to defend it, he's like, all right.
What Fred should have said is tell Ohio State to stay out of the state of Florida. That's what he should have said.
Or he should have said, we've never lost to Ohio State. How about that?
Right. That part too. That part.
Beat you by what? 27. The one time you played for the national championship.
Couple of good bumps.
Beat you with a 6-6 team with Will Muschamp.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud was what? 4 years old when that happened.
That's the
living
history.
In California.
It also goes to the point that Joe brings up all the time, which is these recruits don't care about any history whatsoever.
Especially if
they don't even
know. If you get beyond a recruiting class, which now Florida is 3 recruiting cycles away from what they used to be, 4 recruiting cycles away. You get that far away, the guys you're recruiting now have no idea about Florida history. Yeah. None.
And listen, I agree with JJ. A lot of these kids don't know the history, don't care to know the history, but they don't understand that the foundation in which you lay your head had a lot to do with people before you.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you, but did you hear what he initially said? He said, I thought you were from Alabama. Yeah. And then he said, or even LSU. He's thinking of what is the big SEC school.
Sure. Yeah.
He's not even thinking Florida.
But also,
and I got news for you. That's every other high school kid now, too. They're not even thinking Florida.
But it goes right back to Leon's point. He decides to sit down on the pivot, and he's got, I would call it football royalty around him.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Be it college or the NFL.
HOF, Florida HOF around him.
Yeah, and doesn't really care about finding out who he's sitting down with. Because
that's the story of my life. No respect. No respect.
Because he's the stud. He's the one that got invited into the room instead of him inviting them into the room. And so, but I always joke that for a recruit, his history is about 2.5 years. From the time he's mid-sophomore until he goes to wherever he's going to go. That's his history. And then when you get in the NFL, then you got a little more of an appreciation for what went on in your college football world. But it only dates back to when you stepped on the college football field.
What he needed to be worried about is his sophomore slump. That's what he needed to be worried about.
Yeah.
He had a great year. Yeah, I put it on him. Yeah, he's in our
Why
division.
Would you put that
yes, I did, because he's in our division and we want to win.
Thank you.
I'm saying sophomore slump.
That's
right. I said it.
Yes, I love
he's
that.
He's a player.
I don't care.
Speak it.
He's
Speak it into existence.
Exactly.
Because guess what? I understand that we're judged on dubs on this show, and that's the mantra we live by here on XLP. I think Trevor Lawrence knows where Fred Taylor went.
Yeah.
I think he knows where Ryan Clark went to school.
Yeah, probably a little more of a sense of
history.
history.
Not that matters, because I know there's plenty of you driving around saying, okay, Mia, you Trevor Homer, you Trevor apologist. I'm just saying, do your research.
But like if you match it up with what Matt said, is that just the dog in him is like he doesn't care who's in his way.
I like that moxie about him.
All right,
and as for
I think it can come off as something else.
It can come off as a little cocky, and I'm okay with. Or arrogant. I can deal. I can live with that. Long as you listen. I play with a lot of cocky players, all right? Long as it show up on the field Sunday, I'm good with it. You can talk the talk, walk, but
as
long
walk as you're not turning the ball over.
Exactly. Talk the talk and walk the walk.
Yes.
But then when you stop walking the walk, I'll be there at your door knocking.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know.
All right, so you guys jump in on that. Let us know what you think, 641-1010. It's going to be getting closer and closer to making some free agent decisions. It's going to be a real important decision, which has been, of course, debated on this show and many other shows on 1010XL. as far as what's going to happen with Josh Allen, that's the first big – it's not necessarily the first biggest move because we don't know exactly what this timeline looks like, but it's still the biggest move that this football team needs to make. And you're hoping that Trent Baalke has that to-do list in the offseason, and Josh Allen's name is at the top of it and trying to figure out exactly what's going to go. If you start thinking about worst-case scenario, could this be a long, protracted, what's a good way, angry negotiation between these two sides? I'm hoping it doesn't because, well, Josh Allen's at least made the indication that he doesn't want to go anywhere, which is
and
a positive.
And the good news is that he's spoken to new defense coordinator Ryan Nielsen. JJ, if you could cue up number 8 from Ryan Nielsen's introductory presser yesterday, in which he said not only does he believe in Josh Allen, and Josh Allen even taking it a step further from his 17.5 sack season this past year, he believes that Josh Allen will be here for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of production, right? Very important. And so when you got a guy like that and you want him back and think that's going to work out, would be really excited that works out. Really excited to work with him. Heard nothing but great things. Talked to Josh and he's been fantastic. And so that'll get worked out, get him back and get him going and hopefully get him to improve. That's the ultimate goal, right? Just take one. If we can just get that much better next year, really, what does that look like? That's pretty exciting, right? And so that's kind of what we want to work towards.
Yeah.
So the bad news is that he's getting tagged, unless by some miracle in the next month a long-term deal is negotiated between now and then. The good news is that they probably get a deal done, I would hope, at some point before camp opens in late July, because by tagging Josh Allen, you extend that negotiating window, which some might look at Trent Baalke and say, you're lazy, you should have been negotiating already. Why do you need this extra 4 months? And I think the caveat to all of it is, let's say you tag Josh Allen. So number one, now you're hamstrung in negotiating contracts with other free agents because your cap structure is contingent on that cap number for an edge rusher, which is a primo price. And then number two, let's say some lesser edge rusher or even, I don't know, a top 10 rusher and a Daniil Hunter goes out and gets $35 million a year on the open market. And now Josh Allen says, okay, the price just went up. Now you need to match that. So that's where it's difficult because, sure, you're giving yourself more time to hammer a deal out, and Trent Baalke has been adamant that he doesn't do deals during the season. But a lot of other things could happen outside of your control that now directly impact how this deal will eventually look once and if it is to be done.
Yeah, and I hope Josh gets all his money. Absolutely. I hope he gets the 30, whatever, because this team is why that's why I hate the tag, but listen, you collectively bargained for it, man. I hate it because you knew, this organization knew by sack 10 that they had to sign him to a new deal. They had I don't know when he did it, but to say that you don't like doing negotiations during the regular season, I mean, then I tell you what, if he gotten hurt, I tell you what the negotiations would have been then. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they would have pressed their thumb on it.
Exactly. So, I mean, listen, I hope Josh gets all his money because he bet on himself, absolutely bet on himself, because I'm sure they tried to get a deal done before the season, and that's the reason why he was holding out, and they talked him to come in and said, we're going to get – look, I'm going to say it. Organizations do lie to you. I know the people out there gasped, but they do lie. They do lie to you.
Both sides, and it's like I always try, and I totally appreciate your side of this because you are gunning for as much cash as you can get.
Yes.
Because you're only going to be around for a short amount of time. This team's going to be around for
forever.
As long. You know, they hope forever. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. You have a great year. You're going to hold them up for a little bit more if you can. And if you have a down year, they're going to hold you up.
Yeah. If he had a down year or if he got hurt, I tell you, doing negotiations, there would have been no negotiations.
Right.
You take it or leave it. That's what they would have
slide
said.
that paper over, and you're going to have to be good with this.
That's why I'm so glad that he finished the season healthy and had an outstanding year.
Yeah, and you got to fight the idea that there isn't a player out there that's worth $30 million. That's the going rate. Okay, that's what this you have to accept. And this salary cap is bumped up big enough where they need, and Trent Baalke knows that he needs to have that money set aside for him. Take a look at the pass rushers, take a look at the quarterbacks, and take a look at the left tackles, and it is sky high in terms of the amount of money.
I mean, if you think you're going to get a guard in free agency, what do you see what you pay for that?
Yeah, and that's gone up price-wise.
Of course.
Yeah, naturally so. And when you look at Spot Track, they definitely break it down as far as the positions that you've already put your money in and who you got inked and all that type of stuff to kind of show you. Because you got to remind yourself, you got to spread this money out. You got to sign all those players.
And I know some fans out there that's saying that why does he have to take 30? I mean, if he takes less, he can get that. That's not his job to take less. No. It's their job to find the money.
Right.
It's his job to make the money.
And I'll just remind everybody that Pat Mahomes is one of the highest paid creatures in the National Football League. So is Chris Jones, and the Chiefs figured out a way. And the Chiefs went out and drafted guys and got guys to come in and play with less money. Now, L'Jarius Sneed and McDuffie and all these guys, and Jones for that matter, they're all going to get lined up again to make their money. But that team figured it out, and so does San Francisco when they deal for a Christian McCaffrey or Trent Williams or whatever the case is, and they go out there and they have to toss to the side a trade that they moved up to get and Trey Lance, and then go in, and now they got the bargain of all bargains with Mr. Irrelevant. That's where they're at.
It can be done under the cap if it's done right. If it's done, I mean, you see it all the time with these teams. How do the Niners keep that core that they have, right? How do the Bills keep their core? It's starting to fall apart, but how does that happen?
Right.
Because they know what they're doing with the cap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's – Leon, I think your whole point is, your players, the unwritten rule between players is stay out of my pocket. My pocket, my pocket. Your pocket's your pocket.
Exactly.
And it's not up to the players to worry about each other's pockets. It's up to the owners to figure out how to give the players what they need.
Yeah. And if they're all winning and they're that close and they think that they can have a collective conversation, that's fine. If that's how they do it, if that's how they choose to do it. But you don't need someone coming to you from the front office and saying you need to give up some so we can give it to the other guy.
And another thing is that the Jaguars, the team collectively did him a disservice not making the playoffs. You make your money in the playoffs, too. If he had to go up against whoever in the playoffs and shine and got a sack and a half there, and they say they win that game, then they go divisionally. I mean, I'm just saying he's going to get his money, but I'm saying that, last impressions is lasting impressions.
He might have been a 20-sack cat. If you go back and you think of Dante Fowler in that run in 17, I'm pretty sure that those sacks, those real important sacks, came in the postseason against Roethlisberger, against Brady, and that helped obviously ratchet up his value. So, yeah, I'm with you there. All right, you guys let us know. Now, one thing Ryan Nielsen said yesterday, which is interesting, and let's pair this up with the 17.5 sack total that Josh Allen had. With Ryan Nielsen coaching up the Falcons defense for a year, and it was decent. It wasn't great, but it was on the upper end. 0 players with 7 sacks. But a bunch of guys got to the quarterback. They had more sacks in Atlanta than Jacksonville had here. So is he going to be able to dial it up for more guys? So let's get into that coming up. Just a little bit more from him, and then let's start talking a little more free agency because we're going to creep closer and closer to some of these big decisions this team's going to have to make. A Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday. Let us know what is cranking in your brain. If you're starting to celebrate Friday, you can give us any good rock and roll. Throw it at us, 641-1010. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Start your engines!
NASCAR is back on 1010XL, and no race is bigger than the Daytona 500.
Yes, sir. Let's get this party started.
Woohoo! This Sunday at Daytona, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
Tired of dealing with clogged drains? What about those bad smells coming from your pipes? No matter how big or small your commercial or residential project may be, my friends at Duck Duck Rooter can handle it. Contact them today for all your plumbing, septic, and air conditioning needs at 904-862-6769. And while I have your attention, Duck Duck Rooter is also hiring plumbers. They offer excellent weekly pay, health insurance, paid holidays, 401k, and more. Apply now at duckduckrooter.com and they will call you for an interview.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour Fan Shop, The Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
When you think about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Prime Roofing is Jacksonville's local contractor that manufactures, fabricates, and installs metal roofs. Schedule today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Hey, so where do we tee off?
Tee it high and let it fly.
He's got a beautiful backswing. Oh, he got all of that one.
Tour news, local updates, and the latest gear. Cut a few strokes off your game Saturday mornings at 10 with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour on 1010XL.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Lower mortgage rates are here, and smart homeowners are wiping out all their credit card debt with help from Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Right now, Loan Pronto has a cash-out refinance rate of just 5.49%. You heard me. That's a huge drop. So you can get refinanced now, get cash out of your home's equity to wipe out all those credit cards and other high-interest loans. You can save hundreds every month with lower payments. Or, if you still have a mortgage rate in the threes, you can use Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit. Just get the cash you need and leave your primary mortgage intact. Loan Pronto can get you $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in just a matter of days. Bottom line, Loan Pronto's got several options to help you erase debt and take control of your finances. Call today, and you can even skip your next two mortgage payments. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, or loanpronto.com, 999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, 5.49%, has 6.39 APR, subject to lender approval.
Pickett here. When it comes to your eye health, you want to make the winning move. That's where Bowdine Associates comes in. February, it's the month of love. And what better way to show some love than taking care of your family's vision? Bowdine isn't just about seeing clearly. They're about making sure your eye game is in its prime. And folks, they got not one, not two, but 3 convenient locations across town. I call that home court advantage. So call Bowdine Associates and schedule your winning eye exam. Bowdine Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents
Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Meet Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that
you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday on XL Primetime.
We will talk about it. We will briefly talk about it on this Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday edition of XL Primetime because Taylor Dahl expected me to do a whole segment on it this show, but we won't go a full segment. Round of applause, JJ. Caitlin Clark, officially the NCAA women's all-time leading scorer as of last night. Also set the Iowa single game record with 49 points. Probably could have hit 50 if they kept her in. I met Caitlin Clark for the first time in 2018 at the high school state tournament. One of my colleagues from Des Moines pointed her out to me, said there she is, top 5 recruit in the country, dropping 40 a night. And I said, that 5'6" skinny little girl over there? Mind you, I'm 5'2". She dropped about 40 points in that state quarterfinal and now has never looked back. Our thanks to Caitlin for all she has done for not just women's athletics, not just college athletics, but truly, I think in this NIL era, and I said this to Steve Griffin, our general manager, this morning, I'm not sure we've ever seen, and again, I understand you all want to point out my bias, and that's fine. I don't think we have seen, and part of this is because of the NIL era, we have not seen a college athlete who, when they set a record, when they are doing what they are doing on a basketball court or a football field or wherever it may be, the outpouring of recognition from all walks of life. She's getting shout-outs from Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. She's getting a shout-out from former President Barack Obama. Tom Brady put together a compilation congratulatory video. And I think it speaks to a larger picture, yes, of the NIL deals that Caitlin Clark has with State Farm and Nike, et cetera, et cetera. But I also think we can bring it to a larger picture of what this is doing for college athletics.
I think it's just a positive because it gives a little more visibility to a sport that didn't necessarily have all the visibility. It may not be the most popular sport out there for everybody, but still, she balls. That's what she does.
Yeah, well, listen, I've always been a fan of women's basketball. I've been a women's basketball fan since Pat Summitt. I used to love Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Tennessee used to roll through it. I used to watch it all the time. So I'm not new to it. So I like the rivalries, that people are getting – they're getting accustomed to, but I've been used to them because I've been a fan for so long. The Iowas, the South Carolinas, the LSUs, all that kind. I anticipate that tournament as much as I anticipate the men's tournament because of the host, the different characters in those different.
Good.
Oh, absolutely! I'm going to watch it for sure. Yeah.
The star power.
I like her because she competes. I love watching her.
Yeah,
and she will compete. She has. We talk about like Steph's range. There's literally no shot she A won't take and B can't hit. Mm-hmm. The shot that set the record was from the logo, from the tip of the logo. For God's sakes, it was 35 feet.
Yeah, the range.
And it wasn't like something that banged in or anything. Yeah. It was just net.
Yeah, the range of these players.
She's just. I mean, her shot is ridiculous. She can pull up. She doesn't need to be framed to shoot either. She can shoot off.
Had a
one
double-double,
leg.
too.
Yeah, and I mean, I love watching her compete. That's as much as anything, that's what it's about for me. And I think it's awesome for how she's raising the awareness of women's basketball. I think that's great. But I look at her, honestly, as purely, and I have 3 daughters, I look at her as an athlete. She competes her ass off when she goes out there.
Did you like what she said post-game?
No.
First thing she said, super cool to break the record. I'm so proud of my team. We need to play better defense, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still want more, which is good. And the Steph Curry influence is not unlike the Tiger Woods influence because it crosses it spans generations and crosses male, female, whatever, because every kid picking up a club or every kid picking up a basketball is like, that's the type of player that I want to be. And Steph just kind of got them all believing.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that as a fan, you see the end result of her breaking the record. But just think about how many hours she spent in the gym shooting basketballs.
Yeah.
I mean, we get to see the end result.
Yeah.
All right, of her breaking that record. You don't know the amount of time and effort and getting up in the morning that she was in the gym shooting them shots.
Yeah.
It's like Tiger. When you talk about, we go and see the end result with Tiger or Steph Curry or whoever, all the all-time greats, and we're in awe of it. But the time and effort and energy put into that.
She's like a combination of Rip Hamilton and Steph. Because she moves like Rip on the court. She does everything she can do to get open.
Rip Hamilton, really good player.
Yeah. But Rip Hamilton, also a guy, wasn't the biggest dude in the NBA, could get pushed around, but got open because he kept running.
Yeah.
Kept getting open.
Another thing that she mentioned in the post game, and as we kind of pair this as well with the C.J. Stroud, Fred Taylor conversation on the Pivot podcast, she was asked by the sideline reporter post game if you could go back and tell 6-year-old Caitlin that this happened, what would she say? And she said, I don't think she'd be surprised because she was working really hard then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a cultural shift, and I don't think that's her being cocky. I think that's to what Leon said. I think that it is a cultural shift to not have to deflect your accomplishments, to actually own it and be like, yeah, I worked really hard, and now I get to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Well, it's no problem when you put in the work. There's no problem with thanking you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no problem with it.
You got a couple bars today.
I'm just saying, it's no problem with thank you. A lot of people, when you go for acceptance speech and you say, hey, listen, I like to thank myself. You know why? Because it was moments in time. And you can read in my book, Fourth Down the Dam, Lima Store and Amazon. It was a lot of times when I was training, before I even played football, it was a lot of times I could have just sat home.
Right.
And not ran.
Well,
but I did anyway.
Yeah, and it's the thing you told us, especially with Don Solinger and Coach Campbell in here the other day, as soon as you walked on the campus, you looked around and go, oh, my God.
I was intimidated.
How am I going to keep up with this? How am I going to keep up? Work.
No substitute for it.
Yeah.
And if I could just give one more shout out. For me, it's emotional, not just, again, take the Iowa part out of it. But for me, when I was working out there.
Even though you were wearing Iowa.
We can never take the Iowa part out of it.
No, but I do want to take that.
Clear.
Yes, correct. But because I was working out there, and this was when Lisa Bluter's been the head coach for 23 years. They've gone to the NCAA tournament, and I believe it is 15 of those 23 years, and then they went to the NIT in 5 of them. They've only missed the postseason 3 times, and one of those NIT years was one of the years I was there, and so I'm 23, 24 years old, and Lisa took me aside and said, I don't think you realize how important it is for my girls for you to be here and working, and the fact that you have this working relationship with them, and it's so empowering for them. And I looked at her and I was like, I'm just a 23-year-old kid. Like, I don't really know what you're talking about. And she said, no, like, just by being you and doing your job and not pounding your chest and saying, oh, I'm a woman, look at me, like that, and just carrying yourself the way you do is so important. And I think now, obviously I've, aged about 7 years since then, but also I think seeing how Caitlin carries herself. It's not about being a woman. It's not about being a man. It's about doing what she's doing and realizing that by just being herself, she's opening so many doors for young girls. And also, which I think is where Lisa Bluter deserves so much credit as the head coach of the Iowa women's basketball team, it sounds so easy to say, I'm going to take, and this goes for college football too, Matt, you could speak to this. It sounds so easy to say, I'm going to take the top-rated recruit in the country because they're going to instantly make my team better. That's very easy to say. But with a player with Caitlin Clark's skill set, she doesn't take 50 shots, contrary to what Cheryl Swoop said. She takes about 20 per game. But she has to have the ball in her hands, and she has to pull up from the logo because it's part of her range. And for a coach who wants her team, like Lisa Bluter does, to average between 15 to 20 assists per night, and to accept I have to change who I have philosophically been as a head coach for the last 19 years because I have this player coming in. It sounds so easy on the surface to say, you know what, I have this gifted athlete and I have to shift my entire
I'd run it
scheme.
through him.
Right. But at the same time, to philosophically still hold your team to the standard of this is a team sport. Yes, we have Caitlin, but this is a team sport. The one that I can kind of relate it to would be the Baltimore Ravens when Lamar Jackson arrived. They had been running a certain system with Joe Flacco, and they recognized, you know what? We have this talent. who we can't be doing what we were previously doing. And maybe some concessions have to be made philosophically with how we operate our offense to showcase that player's
yeah,
talents.
because Lamar was 180 degrees opposite of Joe Flacco. He was Mr. Dynamic with the football and his feet working at the same time. And Flacco, statue. That's what he was before it became the Flaccosaurus that Jeff Prosser named him. He was a statue back then. But Greg Roman, give him credit. They looked around, and John Harbaugh, give him credit. They said, you better craft something for this cat. You better make sure that we get every drop out of this dude's skill set and make sure you can do it.
Which I think is actually what Ryan Nielsen said yesterday.
Yep.
We're gonna do what works for the player, get the most out of him with Trayvon Walker.
Right.
Is he gonna play inside? He's gonna play outside. We're gonna find out what he does best, and then we're gonna focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a shock to everyone to hear that, but that's
Right.
typically how coaching works. You find out what your guys do the best and help them reach their ceiling at what they do their best, instead of pushing into something that they may not do so well.
Right, and it's the classic square peg, round hole, and heck, you can go back to Urban in Gainesville when he was trying to make Johnny Brantley a spread option runner, one of the dumbest things a head coach could do, and he was just trying to keep his offense rolling, and that guy didn't fit, and so he forced him out. But at the same time, when you get to this level, if you're going to draft somebody, you better make sure that they're going to give you what you envision in them in the defense or offense that you're running. And so Ryan Nielsen, let's just use Trayvon Walker as an example. And JJ, throw us that soundbite when you got it. But Trayvon, the question was asked, will he play inside? And he made a good point as far as what he's seen so far of Trayvon, and not to be so quick to judge where he belongs 100% of the time.
Here's kind of our philosophy with the players is we're going to put the player in a position that he can have success first over the scheme. And so we're going to evaluate everything that he does well. And then if he can rush inside, then we'll put him inside, Gene. If he's more of a better outside rusher, we'll keep him outside. Yes, we've evaluated those things, but 10 snaps is not enough to say that, yes, he can do that or he can't do that. And so we'll identify that once we get to OTAs, and so the process is never ending, and we'll put our guys in the best positions for them to have success, and then ultimately we will have success on defense and as a team.
The specificity of the 10 snaps.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That was a shot.
He also knew Gene's name.
Well, so Ryan Nielsen went around the press conference and introduced himself to each of us, and of course, someone had an extra
first
long
off,
conversation
of course he knew
with him.
Gene's name, JJ.
The legend.
That's a given.
That's the columnist to you, JJ LaSalva.
I love
even
Ryan
say
Nielsen,
that,
man.
JJ?
Listen, from the mustache, I love it.
And he loves that. And he loves that Ogeron. We need to get him on Primetime. He's immediately a friend of the program.
Yeah, we absolutely got to get Eddie O to talk about.
He names Eddie O, Pete Carroll, and Sean Payton as influences in his coaching life, and that's some bravado running through those genes.
Well, listen, that's a man who's watched film.
Yeah.
10 snaps. I mean, that could also be a shot at who just left. You got this amazing talent.
Yeah.
You've only utilized him 10 times inside. So
Because
I looked at it both ways.
Yeah.
As a man who's watched film, and that's a man who took a shot at the previous.
And you
10.
know as
Well,
well.
I mean, it's also but I don't. But is Mike Caldwell a guy who makes that decision, or is that a Trent Baalke decision?
No, not when it comes to where you're putting him snap wise. Trent wants to be as much as I love Dog and Baalke, he is not getting in that meeting room and saying you need to create.
You're the
some
same
snaps.
guy who said he's walking around with this whistle around his neck.
He is.
Kidding me?
He is, but he ain't going
He's
in there
the GM
telling
of the team.
Now you think he's telling Brinson Buckner, that defensive line coach at the time?
Not the Brinson I know. No.
Yeah. Now look, Baalke would like.
Brinson's still here.
No, he's not. He's gone.
I can't wait to unveil.
Maybe he didn't blow his whistle enough. Maybe
He wasn't taking what was given to him. My whole thing is I think this guy's got his hands on a lot more than you guys think.
Well, I can't wait to unveil, and I'm trying to decide exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be a weekly, maybe during, I don't know, OTAs, training camp, whatever. And I'm thinking Trent Talkie as opposed to Trent Baalke. Trying to figure out exactly how we're going to unveil him. But
I think we drafted him to be an outside rush linebacker and an odd front. That's where I want him.
Yeah. Well,
that's
Coach,
what I think
Coach Campo ran a bunch about get him inside on down and distance situations.
To that point, so I agree. Clearly, we saw at Georgia what he can do inside, and I agree with Ryan Nielsen that 10 snaps is a small sample size, and I also agree that Trent Baalke wants him on the outside. But I also look at DeJuan Smoot, Taven Bryan, very different player, but Those are two guys in recent history that this franchise has tried to play at 4 or 5 different positions along that defensive front. Dwan Smoot literally lost 50 pounds, had to gain 50 pounds back, went vegan. I'm not saying that would have to happen to Trayvon Walker, but the guy did just go out and spend the last 2 years focused on becoming a great outside linebacker edge rusher.
Yeah.
Got 10 sacks, and now are we going to ask him to completely change his game? Again, snip, snap, in the words of Michael Scott.
I don't disagree with you. I think he's now showing improvement.
Right.
He's now showing an ability to play the position. Don't screw it up now.
Yeah, and I do think body type-wise, he just needs to keep what he's doing. Get stronger, stay fast, learn, improve on your technique. And then that outside rusher body, when he does go inside, think of Chris Jones. Has Chris Jones changed his body to go outside? Answer is no. And you can think of Calais Campbell as the classic example.
Yeah, Calais played inside and outside.
Yeah, and so
it was effective both.
Yeah, I just think he could turn into that type of guy.
I mean, listen, you're talking about he's 6'6", right?
6'5", anyway.
6'5",
yeah.
6'6", 275. He's long, he's lengthy. I mean, he could be a nightmare for any guard with his quickness and elusiveness. And he could.
So could a guy if you want somebody with nightmare for a guard, just draft Johnny Newton in the first round.
True.
I mean, I don't understand it. Like, draft somebody and develop him.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
but you can
ran
also
out and got Tyler
you can
Lacey.
also
Don't
factor
forget
in. You can also factor in if you've got Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker on one side rushing. That could be a little.
And I think you could do it on stunts. We saw it 2 years ago.
Stunts. I'm thinking stunts.
We saw it in 2022.
And I think Coach even said you can put.
You also got him on the edge. That's
true.
You got Young and Bosa out there. That's pretty good.
But you could run a T&E game where both he and Josh Allen are on the same side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely.
And that could present problems. Just all these different looks, I think, is what you're looking for.
But the point is that Ryan Nielsen has watched the tape, or at the very least seen our very own Gus Logue's tweets, that Trayvon Walker, in terms of sheer inside numbers, snap count-wise, it was only about 10. And Trayvon said that to me multiple times in the locker room this year when I would ask him about it. He's like, yeah, we did it 2 or 3 times, and, it looks good. I like having my hand in the dirt. It's what they asked me to do, and that's just his mentality, of course, is whatever they tell me to do, that's what I'm going to do.
And, if negotiations aren't going well, you go and draft Jared Verse, number 17, and now you get 3 rushers.
Which would be a good problem to have, would it not?
Great problem to have.
Yeah, you cannot have enough, as they say. And that's the thing that this team's got.
Man.
Yeah.
Interior. They need that interior.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
They need that disruption.
They also need help along the offensive line, too. And so that's where, again, I jokingly say value. But, I mean, what do you need to address first? What's the bigger gaping hole? Or do you say we're going to provide that depth in the interior via free agency and then look to the draft when it comes to the offensive holes?
The bigger hole is obviously offensive line. Has to be. That's the key to everything you're going to do. It's the key to everything in your franchise moving forward to 16. So the big hole is the offensive line. You've got to fix that middle 3. You have to.
You got to get a center. Our preference a center in free agency.
More
experienced guy in free agency, and then a guard, and then get a solid guard.
So you're done with Fortner?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm not done with him yet.
No, well.
I'm not. I think if he can gain a little strength, I think he's got a chance.
Well, if you were to use him and just basically take a look at, okay, what is the leap from year 1 to year 2 didn't happen the way that they had hoped. He still started every game. You have to give him credit for that, but at the same time, he was more of a liability than a strength. How much more does he step forward? Knowledge and physical improvements year 2 to year 3.
He's got his lower body. I mean, his lower body. He's got I don't know what his trunk.
It's the ass and the thighs, like I keep saying, man. It's what it is.
You're absolutely
big
right.
asses and big thighs.
Absolutely.
You zero in on that.
But that's what it is,
bro,
man. On the interior like that, that's what you got to have.
Yeah, because it was too many times I watched in games where he was just overwhelmed, especially on run plays.
Because that's how you anchor, right?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you got to. And listen, you don't. Some guys can listen. We had a guy on our team when I was playing, Michael Chivas. Michael Chivas was not that big, wasn't that strong, but he got on you. He was quick. He used his leverage, his quickness to get on you, whatever. And the times that he was overwhelmed by players, but mass majority of the time, he had good base, he had good leverage that he could get underneath guy. Fortner just plays too high, and it doesn't have the trunk and the leverage so to take on 6'3", 340. He can't do it.
Yeah.
Back to the defensive side of the ball and Ryan Nielsen's introductory presser real quick. An interesting note from Dell on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I just want to see Trayvon drop into coverage less in passing situations, not that he did it a whole lot. I think that that's an interesting question to ask because we pair that, number one, with is it a 3-4, is it a 4-3? I'm sure Ryan Nielsen would tell you his fronts are multiple. But also, the biggest mantra that I came away from that Ryan Nielsen press conference yesterday with was attack, attack, attack. And that's not to say that if you have two outside linebackers that they're not going to drop into coverage, but it just sounded like with every single response, everything is moving forward, moving towards the quarterback. And I'm not saying that means that Trayvon Walker's never going to drop back into coverage, but it certainly felt like that.
Yeah, and I do think if I'm just kind of reading what he's saying is that at least the philosophy sounds like I want to get guys that are big men to do big man things as opposed to getting lost in coverage. It doesn't mean in a zone blitz situation you can't confuse an offense and catch them napping and make a play. But wouldn't you rather see a guy his size overpower somebody and get to the quarterback as opposed to try and drop and cover a Travis Kelce or somebody like that, which is just –
No, absolutely. I mean, he's a DN. He's a rush in. Not a drop in. He's a rush in. But there's going to be certain packages. There's going to be certain packages where he's, listen, you know what? The interesting thing that y'all said there in Atlanta, it wasn't a lot of guys it was a whole bunch of guys that got sacks.
No more than 7 sacks for any one player.
Yeah, so I mean, I like to see Luakon. I like to see Devin Lloyd, see what he can do, with the blitz packages that he may have. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see, what kind of packages he puts together.
910 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. There's a guy in Gainesville who talks about attacking a lot, and I'm having PTSD. It's not Napier. He would never use words of violence like that.
Nope. Napier.
I think we need a drop for Chris Farley. Can we get some sort of I'm trying to think what the most iconic line from
fat guy in a little coat.
Yeah, I think we need to
down by the river.
Soon he's going to be coaching in a van down by the river.
I think we need to come up with that so whenever we reference him, it plays. Speaking of 910, spotted in St. Pete, we are back, baby. Florida victorious on a billboard. Looks like it's right outside of the Trop. Or at least that looks like the Trop. Man, oh, man.
Yeah, it's because they're building future stars, future pros.
Yeah.
The Victorious, that's a big story that we haven't necessarily dug 100% deep in on.
Yeah, let's do that.
But
I like that.
And Matt keeps saying they're going to find more money as long as you're winning. And I guess that is the answer to the puzzle. But Gator fan, if you are like the guy that just texted in from St. Pete, are you giving? Did you stop giving? Do you want to give more if they give you more? These are all fair questions that we can get into in the 1 o'clock hour, and it'll get us back to our great transfer portal debate that we named yesterday, Leon. We had running backs. Mm-hmm. There was a bunch of good ones.
Good ones, yeah.
And we went to the Ryan Nielsen presser, so we didn't quite get to all of the ideas, but let's repeat that coming up because if you are in the transfer portal era like we are now, back in the day, name your 5 guys.
The 5 guys, AP, Adrian Peterson, Reggie Bush, Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, Barry Sanders.
Who would you go get out of the transfer portal first? First, you got to make a decision, back it up, 641-1010. We will say the early lean yesterday was quite a few Barry Sanders selections, but if you got somebody else or if you got him, give us a reason why. Let's crank it out. 1 o'clock hour. Big Hair, Heavy Metal. Bring us some song suggestions. JJ the DJ. Doesn't have to be Big Hair or Heavy Metal. You can go anywhere in the world, but just please rock us out.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Things you never hear Dan and Jeff say.
Why don't you just say it? I'm a cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser are The Drill.
Buddy, you're not a cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
Mornings on 1010XL.
We all just have different talents. Special talents, in fact. Like,
Credit for everyone. 500 vehicles in one location. 30-day exchange program. If you want it all, get it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Right now, just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. And if you're worried about financing, don't be. My friends at Arlington are all about their friendly credit for everyone program. And it's all about getting you approved. And remember, you can buy pre-owned with total confidence thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange program. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. When I say get it all at Arlington Pre-Owned, I mean it. Just $500 down, low payments, 30-day exchange, and friendly credit for everyone. Sounds to me like it's time to get a new ride. Don't wait. Save thousands and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
When it rains, it better drain. If storm drains on your commercial property aren't doing their job, this is a major liability that needs to be corrected. Call Duck Duck Rooter to have your storm drains jetted and cleaned with our powerful vac con truck. We'll clear the way for better drainage. Call 904-862-6769. Visit duckduckrooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Duck Duck Rooter, your fully insured certified plumbing and underground utility contractor.
The Women's Board of Wolfson Children's Hospital welcomes 4-star Admiral James Stavridis, February 26th. For your chance to win tickets, text FORUM to the text line covered by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010.
Hi, this is Carrie, the office coordinator at the dental practice of Dr. James J. McCall. Dr. McCall, along with me and my fellow team members, are committed to making your visit to the dentist a pleasant one. From scheduling, filing insurance, or reviewing treatment options, you're always our number one priority. When we say join our dental family, we believe it in our hearts. If you are looking for a dentist in a warm and relaxed atmosphere, call the dental office of Dr. McCall at 620-9225.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
In the game of life, Jackie Robinson broke barriers and changed the course of history. The first African American to play Major League Baseball, he challenged injustice with grace and skill. Robinson, a symbol of courage, proving that one person can transform the game and society. I'm E.T., And this Black History Month profile on 1010XL is brought to you by Instant Keys. Fast, honest, reliable locksmith service.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back in the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit bariorthopedics.com.
Find out more at bariorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. A look around college basketball this weekend. JU tips off tonight against Queens, North Carolina at 7, looking to rebound from Wednesday's night loss. The Gators travel to Georgia looking to keep their streak alive, taking on SEC rival, the Bulldogs, tomorrow. Game time's at 1. You can listen to both games live on 1010XL. FSU men's basketball wraps up the weekend hosting number 9 Duke at home. Tip-off is at 2. Opening weekend is here for college baseball with the number 2 Florida Gators opening against the St. John's Thunderbirds in a 3-game series starting tonight at 6:30. The Gators are fresh off the program's 16th SEC championship and a trip to the College World Series Finals. It's 66 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
I do like the suggestion. Daytona 500 weekend coming up. Get a little rock and roll in you. I don't know if you're wired the infield way where you're heading down to Daytona. Heck, if you're an infield person, you may already be there right now. You've got a whole setup inside the infield. It's one of the coolest places where people from all parts and all walks of life show up, and then they just party. That's what they do. They put it in park, they get out, and they just set up either a bar, a tiki bar, a karaoke, whatever it is. It is such a cool place. You guys are going down there, let us know.
It's a slice of Americana that you have to experience at least once in your life.
It's indescribable.
Yeah.
You think you got it nailed, and then you see something you just never would have expected to see down there.
What I remember by Daytona is being in the car with Joe and how terrified I was when we get up.
Yeah, that's true.
Not an actual NASCAR driver.
That was the first time.
Cowart.
That was the first time I ever really rode with Joe, and Joe was on tilt.
I remember the
I
look
got
on
fired-
Leon's
I got fired
face.
up, just knowing I was going to
The
Daytona.
look on Leon's face was like, we might die right now.
Just knowing I was going to Daytona got me fired up.
White knuckle ride, man.
Oh, it's for sure. But it's funny because they had the twins last night and trying to race their way into the field, and Jimmy Johnson trying to make it one last time, and just all kinds of good storylines. And there are new faces, new names that are going to be down there, and they're all obviously trying to begin their own legend.
And we will have boots on the ground. E.T. and intern extraordinaire Jacob, who you may have seen walking with Dan Hicken to work a few weeks ago, they will be down there in Daytona for the Great American Race. E.T. already came to me though, and was a little worried about that forecast. Which I said to him, when you think Daytona 500, unfortunately, the real ones know there's always some type of weather delay. I think last year and maybe. 20, I can't even think, what would be another year that didn't have a rain delay. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was there in 2021 until 3 in the morning when Michael McDowell finally won that one in a photo finish. And then you even go to the Monday finish with 2020, and that was after President Trump had arrived, and they had the big, huge hoopla and everything, and then they go to run the race, and I think they got 11 laps in. Thunder, lightning, monsoon.
The headline for the Daytona Beach News Journal right now, which also one of the cool things in the infield, is that you set up your RV they will deliver the Daytona Beach News Journal to your RV. It's just one of the coolest things ever. So anyway, the headline, will the Daytona 500 be postponed? And so they're already putting that out there in the ether as a possibility because of these just nasty forecasts of rain. We all know it can change in a hurry, but Daytona likes to start that bad boy off as late as they can, get into prime time and all that stuff. I totally get it. You'll be able to hear it right here on the Superstation. But a 2:30 start. Now, keep in mind, this thing has gone from, I'm sure there was a time when it was starting at noon, and then at 12:30, and then at 1 o'clock, and then at 2, and now you're at 2:30. And so they're going to see if they can get as much in as possible. I just hope the weather stays away. It's the Super Bowl of stock car racing, and it's always a great scene. And you just got rid of football. We just said you're ballless. You're going into a ballless weekend. What are you going to watch? There'll be plenty of people sitting down and watching the 500. And it doesn't have as much cachet as it used to, but still, there are plenty of NASCAR fans out there.
If anything, I was just working on our multimedia department planner for next week. It's
Yeah.
that Sunday the 25th. That's the one you got to be worried about. That's where there's nothing that I can see on the calendar outside of some college baseball and maybe a basketball game here or there.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we have to worry. At least we have the 500 this Sunday of President's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Listen, people, go hang out with your family.
Right. Go do
Jeez.
something do something different in life.
Yeah,
Yes.
go outside.
I mean, there's life
please.
beyond
Again, let's not
sports.
get a little crazy here, all right? Let's not
Go
get
to Disney
crazy.
World, man.
Hey, man.
Come on, man. There's a lot of stuff to
Take
do.
a
in
tour of the
Orlando.
world at Epcot.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the whole world. You know that? All right. So, all
My
right.
boy
Let's see.
Baloo's going to Vegas this weekend.
Yeah.
he's going
to
to
the Sphere to see you too.
Yeah,
Very
he told. I think yesterday he told me he's seen YouTube like
30-something
30-some times.
Really? Nuts.
Yes, he's going to get in the seal. I say, wow.
Yeah, and he picked another good place because he's seen him in a lot of different spots, and so he definitely has. That's pretty cool. I like that. All right, let's get into a couple of other things as far as what's going on, and since we're kind of bouncing around just a little bit, the Tiger Woods experiment yesterday. Everyone was wondering how he would look, and we had him on the television as we were going on with XL Primetime yesterday. He doesn't tee off until like right as we're getting off the air today. Anyway, he shoots a 1/72, and he was up and down like you would expect, but you still look at it like, come on, Tiger. You know, you can do this and that. Anyway, opens up with birdie, bogeys 2 holes, comes back with 2 more birdies, gets to 1 under, goes to the back 9, bogey, birdie, bogey, and then finds another birdie, and he's fighting. And then he misses what looks like it should have been a short putt that he could have made. Then a shank at 18, the full-on shankopotamus that you do not expect to see from Eldrick. But basically he said he had just back spasms coming down the stretch. So he still looks like, in a golf world, he looks like a Hulkian figure. But it's still tough as hell for him to get through the entire round.
Well, I mean, listen, we've known Tiger a very long time. So, I mean, playing in this tournament, I mean, is there any replica to any of the majors to why he would play this one? Or
It's his tournament.
It's his tournament.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the
gotcha.
number one
All right,
thing.
gotcha.
And the beautiful thing about the PGA Tour, and this was smart on their part, is they said, you got the Tiger Woods Foundation, let's create a charity for you. You're the host. Arnie forever hosted one. Jack Nicklaus host 2. And so they basically created 2 events for Tiger, or one event for him, and then he created his other one, which is the Hero World Challenge. But that's smart on their part to give him that opportunity to have.
As far as the way he made it, is it what does it have more of? Traps.
It's just
dog legs. I mean,
It's got everything.
It's got everything.
The way they describe it is that, and the same thing is said here at TPC Sawgrass, that you have to use every club in your bag. You can't just pull the driver out and just wheel it as far as you can, go find it, and then club it up there with a wedge. You have got to be crafty around this golf course. And people have said, a lot of these players included, it's their favorite golf course, which it is a tough one, tough mother, but it is one that if you get it going, you feel like you've done something. They come out of that 18th or 9th finishing up their round like they're exhausted. They just look exhausted. But it's a tournament that he's played a bunch, grew up in Southern California, just hasn't won it yet. And so I'd love to see it. He's not that far off the guy at the top, but 7 under was leading yesterday, and it'll stretch out a little bit more today.
Does he make the cut? That's the question.
Yeah, top 50 and ties, and then anybody within 10 shots. So right now he's at least within 10 shots.
Within 10.
Obviously that will change, today. The wind kicked up a little bit yesterday in the afternoon, so if it does that again, that may make it doubly tough for Tiger. But when he hit it right, and he read some beautiful putts yesterday, it was just so fun to watch. And he has said this, that he wants to be in the game to see these young guys come up. It's kind of like what we were having a discussion with earlier, including Tiger. Tiger's built so many young stars in his game by his play. And he says, I want to be out there competing with them. And he called Justin Thomas a brother that he never had. And so that's cool when you have him wanting to get out there, even though his game's not.
Think about this. If you're Tiger, and you'd be the perfect guy to talk about this, is, does he need to finish all 4 rounds to feel like, all right, I need to play in March now, which is obviously the players, before April, before the Masters?
I think the easiest answer is he needs to see good results.
Right.
If he sees bad results.
Like if he misses the cut, then what?
Right. If he sees bad results.
Or if he feels bad.
Yeah. Or he has the back spasms that continue to linger, then the odds go down.
Skip in March.
That it won't be a once a month deal.
Right.
And that's what I fear. That's what everybody else out there, I'm sure, is thinking as well, which I hate it, but there's no getting away from how he moves the meter.
Right.
Still going to be a great field if he's there or not. But as Lee Smith told you all yesterday, this is one of the last times he's eligible to play in this. You have to qualify to play in this tournament, this Players' Championship. And so that's how good the field is.
Can't we have a Tiger exemption?
I was just going to say, we might have to make one.
There's no founders entries or anything like that?
We might have to make one.
Right. I mean,
with the 50th anniversary, we're going to call it the Tiger exemption clause. I don't know.
You're the greatest golfer ever, but guess what? You're not allowed in.
Yeah, but isn't that something? Because that's the essence of it.
I get all of that, but if he wants to play, I mean, don't you just say?
There you are.
Don't you just
Matt
say,
Hayes,
all right,
College
let
World,
him
change
play.
the rules. I get it. I understand.
No, I'm not changing the rules. I'm just saying if a guy wants to play and all the players are okay with him playing.
Yeah, it would be, look.
As long as their quarterback's not hurt, then we will let him in.
And we know that he wants to play Augusta every year because he has excelled at Augusta. We know that. And if he loved this tournament as much as that one, which he has won this one twice, he just isn't necessarily in love with the golf course, unfortunately for him or for us. But it would be great if he said every year, that's on my calendar. I gotta be there, which would be great. I just hope he gets good results out of it this week, and then he's more compelled, like you're saying. A little more compelled to do it. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about. I saw a mock draft. How many mock drafts have you seen that did not have Caleb Williams number 1? How many?
None.
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So let's at least get into it because I'm looking at Leon's face. JJ went, really? So let's at least touch on a couple of them, or at least one that I got right now that doesn't have Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. And we'll give you the order. It won't surprise you too much, but at least it's worth getting into as we talk a little draft right here on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Duval till we die, all the damn time.
All I want to hear is Duval.
1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing.
Florida Gator basketball improved their home record to 11-1 last night, beating LSU 82-80. They moved to 10 games over 500 for the first time since 2017. Zion Pullen came up with a critical steal in the victory in the final 30 seconds that led to a Walter Clayton Jr. layup. Clayton notches his 8th 20-point game of the season.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I'm so impressed with Darley's Plumbing and the work they're doing at our new Walk-Off Charities field. The Darley's team has been so easy to work with on this great project. I heard good reviews about them for years, and they have absolutely proved it to me. I learned Darley's is a company I can trust for my plumbing needs, and you can too.
Thanks for those kind words, Frank. At Darley's Plumbing, we don't just do residential house calls. We're your first draft pick for commercial business plumbing too. Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
Fish are good at hiding. Captain Kevin can help you find them.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Thursday nights at 6.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss on 1010XL AM.
After consulting with several orthopedic specialists about my constant knee pain, I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and Dr. Chris Swanson to handle my surgery. Their professionalism let me know this team was the one for me. The surgery was very successful, and if I ever have a future need, I'll continue to trust Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to take care of me.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Well, hello there. Join me at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino to celebrate a new era in gaming with live craps, roulette, and sports betting now available to go along with the biggest selection of slots in South Florida. Plus, all your other favorite table games. Complement your night with my award-winning fine dining and casual fare options, lively bars and lounges, or catch your favorite A-list entertainer at Hard Rock Live. Discover your rhythm today. Go to hardrockholly.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Get ready for an extraordinary weekend at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. It's the inaugural Jacksonville College Baseball Classic, February 23rd to the 25th. It's Division I baseball at its best. Witness intense competition as Auburn, University of Iowa, University of Virginia, and Wichita State battle it out in a round-robin tournament format. It's a weekend of baseball you won't want to miss. To get your tickets and more information, visit jaxcbc.com.
Hold on tight because All Pro Roofing is unleashing some electrifying news. Brace yourselves for instant excitement. Instant roof quotes are here. Simply surf over to their website and hit the Instant Roof Quote tab. Boom! That's your ticket to a lightning-fast estimate. Head over to allproroofingllc.com. Click that Instant Roof Quote tab. What are you waiting for? Click on the Instant Roof Quote tab today at allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
Denny Thompson here. Tackle burglars and protect your turf. Give yourself peace of mind catching everything around your home with Tyson Sound & Security's cutting-edge surveillance cameras. For safety and convenience, Tyson has you covered for all home cameras and security systems. I'm talking HD recording, night vision, and remote alerts all from your phone or computer. Call Tyson Sound & Security right now at 904-762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security. Security and automation experts.
Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are two of the best life-saving investments for the safety of your family. Mr. Sparky will install the best unit for your home.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, be warned, FSU fans, some legal wordage coming at you. We're going to get Matt to explain in a second. But the ACC has filed a motion to dismiss or stay Florida State's lawsuit in Florida. FSU last week filed a motion to dismiss or stay the ACC's lawsuit in North Carolina. A hearing for that is March 22nd. Nothing in the official court system yet, but the deadline is today. Yesterday, the ACC asked the Leon County Court for the ability to exceed the page count for its filing. That's from Matt Baker.
Page count?
Yes.
Whoa.
He says scintillating, I know.
And one more thing.
They're going to paper them to death, JoJo.
Yeah, that's classic.
It's this is what they're doing to each other. Look, the key to this whole thing right now is what state will it be heard in. Mm-hmm. If it's heard in the state of Florida, Florida State has a much better chance of winning and getting out of the grant of rights, which is the key. If it's not heard in the state of Florida, if it's heard in the state of North Carolina, clearly the ACC has a much greater chance of winning. So that's what they're doing right now. The entire point of all this is where's it going to be heard? Mm-hmm. That's going to be the key to everything.
Yeah, especially if Moody's all over this thing. She was She was all over it before. I know it's appellate court or federal court, but it is kind of funny.
It's I think if they get it here, I don't even think the ACC will go to trial.
They'll just give up.
Yeah, because they don't want if they get it here, then Florida State's going to say we're going the full smash.
Okay, so
we want discovery, or we want to know how the sausage is made, and the ACC and ESPN do not want that.
Well, that I believe. So if that were to happen, and this is us going Harvey Specter on everybody right now, but if that were to happen,
Suits, which you got to watch.
Yeah, Harvey
Suits.
never wanted to go to trial, and so if that were to happen, then who else jumps in with the same strategy? The Clemsons, who else jumps in?
Well, I think
against the ACC. If there's one victory
if it happens, I think that sets precedent. So then at that point, anyone can jump in.
Yeah.
Because once precedent is set, forget it.
Right.
And but what's the ACC going to do at that point? They're going to try and fight and let all this stuff come out that they don't want to come out. Like there's beyond intellectual property, there's stuff they don't want out.
Right.
Like how they negotiate all of that.
Well, I still don't know where they're going, but this was
there's a reason why in their initial filing, okay, in the state of North Carolina, they asked the judge to prohibit FSU from publicly talking about the way the deal was made.
Right.
There's a reason they said that.
Of course,
they don't want
the
stuff to come out.
I just feel like Matt and I had this long bet. I said there's enough legal people out there, they'll figure out a way, and they are figuring out a way to get out of that grant of rights.
Yeah,
now, they may lose
financially. Here's the thing is they're burning bridges right now by doing this.
That I believe.
They know this, okay?
Yeah.
The problem is the bridge they're burning is ESPN.
Yeah.
So that leaves them basically with their only option, the Big Ten. And if the Big Ten does decide to expand, what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because ESPN's not going to give the Big 12 more money.
Yeah.
Because FSU's joined. Because they're going to be mad that FSU broke up the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I mean, it's dangerous what they're doing. That's all I'm
the reason
saying.
why they may be really mad is because they are getting a bargain on the ACC.
Of course they are. Of course they are. No doubt about it.
That's why the ACC is all ticked off. All right, so I said the mock draft, and would you be shocked if it was not Caleb Williams at the top? And look, this is draft season, silly season. You got to present a different thought, and so this is not drastic by any stretch of the imagination. But Yahoo Sports decides to flip the top two guys. Drake May, number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears, and then Caleb Williams going second, which presents this interesting idea that the Washington Commanders, with now their new head coach, not having to risk or give up big-time draft capital to get to the top. So at least this is what they say. I think May or Caleb Williams, top-notch prizes for the draft, but May has been my pick for the Bears for months, says the Yahoo writer. He has a great combination of size, athleticism, and arm talent worthy of the number 1 pick, with the Bears in a prime position to bolster the talent around him and hit the ground running. Thoughts? Look, I love Drake May. You guys know that.
You fell in love at the
ACC
ACC Media Days last summer.
The Matthew, and I did a Matt Hayes, but the Matthew McConaughey in him got me. It did. I'm sorry.
You got hit by the Thunderbolt? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it got me. Anyway, I like him personality-wise and playmaking-wise. They did not have the season they were hoping to have. Southern Cal didn't necessarily either, but Caleb Williams still looks legit like he's the best out there. But I love this experiment just to see which one of these guys is going to be the first guy.
Yeah, listen, if Jaden Daniels is 20 pounds heavier, I don't even think we're having this conversation.
You're probably right.
He's the most electric, exciting guy I saw all last year.
Yeah, and he's the number 3 guy, and I do agree with you.
And right now, he's the number 3
right,
guy.
Right now. This is another thing that we'll have fun watching because I take it back to Burrow, Tua, Herbert. And we really don't know which of these. Now, Herbert got hurt last year. Tua survived getting hurt last year. Changed our opinion of Tua, I think, dramatically. And then Burrow now has 2 seasons where his 2 years where his season has ended with injury. And so I don't know. At least he's made it to the Super Bowl. He's got a leg up on those other two cats right now. But
as much as Taylor Dahl probably needs to cover her ears right now, ditto to a lot of Bears fans, that offensive line is a work in progress. I think
you don't want to get anybody killed, whoever it is.
Any quarterback that is being drafted in any draft by one of the first 5 teams, it goes without saying, 9 times out of 10, the reason you're being drafted that high is because they have a lot of holes. And the offensive line is probably not a strength given how many games they lost the year prior. And so I say that to say, Lance Zierlein, NFL.com, put out some interesting numbers according to PFF earlier this week. Are you ready? So this is completion percentage when scrambling, which would be assuming the pocket collapses.
You're on the move.
Where do you go from there? Again, completion percentage when on the move. Caleb Williams, 41.8%. Drake May, a 36.8% completion percentage. Jaden Daniels, 46.7%. Bo Nix, 58.6%. That's the highest if you're keeping score. Michael Penix Jr., 23.3%.
Ooh, ouch.
And here's the interesting one that Matt is going to just salivate at.
Spencer Rattler, right?
J.J. McCarthy, a 71.4% completion percentage when scrambling.
That also has a lot to do with the fact that Michigan was just crushing people with the run game. So, yeah, I mean, I still think Jaden Daniels has the opportunity to move all the way to 1.
Well, he had the third highest.
There's too much to like with him. There's too much of the known now in the NFL what a player like that can do with Lamar. Okay? I'm not comparing him to a former NFL MVP. All I'm telling you is they're very similar players in college. Very dynamic, similar, not the biggest guys.
Yeah.
Now Lamar's a grown man in the NFL. He's a big dude. He's all of 230 pounds.
Yeah.
So it can happen. You can grow into a body. I see him. I see the way he plays, the way he can stress defenses, not only with his legs, but he's an accurate thrower. What Mia just said right there underscores that, the way he throws off schedule. I love the way he throws the ball. I love the way he plays. He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy that can take a hit for the size he is. Think about that.
And just give Brian Kelly credit for making him.
Yeah.
2 years into his college career, you were wondering, who is this guy? Because he wasn't in a great situation out in the Pac-12, out in Arizona. And he comes to the SEC, regarded as a tougher defensive league, and he has thrived. And if you're looking at percentages, okay, this was 46 on the move, but Bo Nix versus Michael Penix, there's 30 points difference in those, or at least 25 points difference in the completion percentage, 50-something to 26.
Not only that,
that's telling.
Bo completed, 78% of his passes, and I think Jaden was 72 or 73, but look at the percentage of passes Bo completed when he played against the SEC defenses.
Oh, yeah.
It was under 60.
Yeah.
So
that's a big deal.
Yeah, of course it is.
That's
of course it is. And that's, Jaden Daniels' first year at LSU, he struggled his first half of the season. And Brian Kelly literally had to sit him down and say, you have to start making tight window throws. It's the only way we're going to win.
Yeah.
He wouldn't make tight window throws because he was afraid it was going to be intercepted.
Sure.
So he started to finally make the tight window throws and everything. He got confidence, and then, boom, he just took off, man.
Let me throw some more numbers that maybe will sway how you feel, or maybe it'll reinforce that Jaden Daniels perhaps should be that pick at number 1 overall, and maybe Drake May to the Bears. Maybe that UNC PTSD is real.
Right.
So this is red zone completion percentage as well as the red zone touchdown to interception ratio for each of those same quarterbacks. Bo Nix, a 69.9% completion percentage in the red zone. Spoiler alert, that is the highest of any of these prospects, with 18 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. J.J. McCarthy, we mentioned how good he was scrambling in terms of completion percentage. In the red zone, 63.2% completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. Caleb Williams, 63% completion percentage in the red zone, 12 touchdowns to 0 picks. Jaden Daniels, 65% completion percentage, 14 touchdowns, 0 picks. Michael Penix Jr., 59.7%, 16 touchdowns to 2 picks. And this is the one that, again, maybe you dismiss it as his supporting cast versus these other quarterbacks' supporting casts. Drake May, a 47.3% completion percentage in the red zone with 8 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Yeah, so productive there when you need to get points on the board.
No, but the least
8-1 though.
Right,
8-1 is what
but
I'm
the least
referring to.
productive and the worst completion percentage of any of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, below when you're talking 43%, that's bad. But then the 8-1 at the very least, and again, it didn't go the way he wanted it to, or Mac wanted it to, or anybody up there. And so I'll admit that put a red flag up next to his name. I still like watching the cat play, but worthy of a red flag when you see that. You can't be dropping against ACC defenses now, primarily. You can't be dropping below 50%. No way, no how. Can't do it. So the good guys live in the 67 to 70+% completion rate.
No, I don't disagree with that, but I also don't think that can be like your standard, your measurement either, because there are guys that didn't hit that level that translated to the NFL and played really well. I don't think Phillip Rivers was that high at NC State. He might have been 1 year, but I don't think he was there consistently.
Yeah, he played a ton too, so that might have numbers.
And Trevor was very high at Clemson over and over. He's got 60 turnovers the first 3 years.
Right.
So I think it all depends on how your game translates to the league and how you mentally, your mind, and over. I've said this so many times that Herm Edwards told me that one time is NFL guys last in the league because of what's between their ears, not because of their talent.
Software.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what guy in the NFL does Drake May remind you of that you think that he could establish himself to become?
Herbert.
Yeah, he's the first that I see when I see him.
Herbert's really good.
I know, but that's who I see when I see him.
That's who he looks like.
Because of size, he can move. He's got the big arm. That's who I see.
Had questions, though, coming out of college, which Justin Herbert did too. And again, a lot of that chicken or the egg. Is it the system? Is it him? Did he actually reach his full potential at Oregon? Did they allow him to do so? And I think you could argue that with Drake May, knowing that they had an unsuccessful season by all accounts this past fall.
What about Caleb? Who's he remind you?
Well, that's the problem. People want to say Mahomes, but that's
slow.
I don't think anybody.
Easy on that.
Nobody's
easy
there.
on that button. Easy.
What other comps have you heard for Caleb Williams besides Mahomes?
I've heard Mahomes from a lot of scouts, believe it or not. A lot of scouts.
Because he mirrors the same size, the ability to move.
They play the same way.
Yeah.
They play the same way. It's not only the way they can do things off schedule and they can throw from different arm angles. It's the way they can move in the pocket. It's the way they're tough. They're tough guys. They're great leaders. So, yeah, they're very similar. I'm not saying he's going to end up being another Mahomes, but the game is the same type of game. That's just who they are.
If you're looking for even more draft content, look no further than 1010XL's extensive draft content. It's our 1010XL draft guide. We have big boards. We have weekly roundtables with questions. I'll get to that here in a second. The goal, if you're wondering why are you pumping out all this draft content, is that you will be able to, come March, we're going to put all of this into a nice, neat little PDF folder, right? Or PDF file, excuse me. And so if you want all your draft content from 1010XL, big boards, mock drafts, you name it, it's all going to be in that file. And so we are building towards that. If you go to 1010XL.com, you scroll down to draft guide, you'll be able to see all that. And this week's roundtable question, I think, could be of interest to many of you. Who is a late round prospect you've already had your eye on that would fit well in Jacksonville? You want to run through some of those coming back, Josie?
We can, because you got to go. You got to be that draftnik, really drilling down. And there's so many of them that everyone gravitates to the first 60 names. After that, it is a bit of a crapshoot.
All about finding value. Next on 1010XL. And next.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
The Gators go for a season sweep against the Bulldogs. Florida, Georgia, tomorrow at 12:30 on 1010 a.m.
Mia here, and are you ready for big President's Day savings? How's this sound? No payments for 90 days and just $500 down can get you behind the wheel of a brand new Toyota. With the help of Arlington's pre-approval program, that new Toyota will be sitting in your drive sooner than you think. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. Save big now through President's Day in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Choose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 16, 2005, the NHL season is canceled. First time in American pro sports a league season was canceled due to labor disputes.
Calling all poker enthusiasts. Get ready for the thrill of the Run Good Poker Series, landing at Best Bet Jacksonville from March 14th to the 24th. Brace yourself for 10 action-packed poker events, including the $1,200 no-limit hold'em main event with an incredible $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. Plus, don't miss out on event number 1, the $400 no-limit hold'em tournament, featuring a $100,000 guarantee. Win your entry through exciting satellites starting March 2nd. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and all the details. Don't miss your chance to play your hand in the Run Good Poker Series. See you at Best Bet Jacksonville.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Me, Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. This community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. American Electrical even has its own academy dedicated to training select students, the electrical trade, and the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to American-Electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast. American-Electrical.com.
It's time for some University of North Florida baseball. The Ospreys and the Florida Gators hit the diamond Tuesday, February 20th at Harmon Stadium. First pitch at 6. Reserve your seat now at unfospreys.com/tickets. Safe. They're going fast, so get yours today to see the Ospreys take on one of the nation's top teams in the Gators. unfospreys.com. unfospreys.com. Swoop.
Staying active no matter what your age is key to living life at its fullest. And Rebound Rehabilitation wants you to know they can get you back up to speed and back in the game pain-free. Rebound Rehabilitation with 8 locations across the First Coast, top-of-the-line therapists ready to assist you. From neck and back pain, knee or foot pain, they can help. Excellent patient care combined with the highest quality in rehabilitation services. Look for a Rebound Rehab location near you and get back in the game. Log on, reboundrehab.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
We are still accepting your song requests for Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosure, 641-1010. A lot of you sending us either Ryan Nielsen-inspired song selections or Daytona-inspired song selections. So the creativity is flowing on a Friday in February.
Well, just rock out your Friday with us. JJ, the DJ, if he can, he will. 641-1010, bring us some good rock and roll. It could be old school, could be new, whatever. We don't mind, that's for sure. Now, speaking of old school, the great transfer portal debate. We're doing them weekly, and Big Searcy unveiled his running backs yesterday. So let's go back and hit a couple of those, because if you had a transfer portal in a world that Leon lived in, and you had all these guys at one moment say, I'm going from this school to that, oh my gosh, head coaches and NIL people would be running to get one of these guys. But who would it be?
Well, listen, mine would be AP. Mine would be AP.
Give them the top five you had.
Well, the top five was Adrian Peterson, Reggie Bush, Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, and Barry Sanders. Those are top five. Legends. College legends. Outstanding careers. But I'm partial to AP.
And your reason?
Well, my reason is, first of all, he just looks like a cane. You know,
he looks like a cane.
Did you really just say that?
I just said he looked like a cane.
Especially
He should have been a
after-
cane. I don't know why he went to Oklahoma.
I can't let you get away with that.
Maybe when Don
That's your
Solon,
reason?
I tell you what, he reminds me of his running style.
Does he look like a cane, or you wish he was a cane?
Well, I don't know why he went to Oklahoma. But
maybe as Don Solinger said, who was in that running back room he rattled off?
Yeah, well, Edgerrin James,
Frank Gore,
Quentin Portis, Willis McGahee, and Frank Gore.
Maybe that's why AP went to Oklahoma.
Yeah, well,
I know it was a different time.
Well, it was a different
still.
time. But listen, I pulled up his stats. AP was a phenom his freshman year. I mean, his freshman year, bro, 1925 rushing.
Set the freshman record that year, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
A dozen games. Add that up.
5.7 yards a carry and 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was a grown man.
He was a grown man. He absolutely was a grown man.
He had not even going to say a little, I'm going to say a lot. He looked a lot like Eric Dickerson in college. In the NFL, too.
Yeah, and Eric Dickerson, the Pony Express, you definitely saw a more upright guy, which is what AP looked like. But AP ran angry, too. He was probably one of the first angry runners that you could think
he
of.
put his head down and run, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, if we go Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson, you're talking about a different time, but you could come up with arguments for those guys because they were centerpiece pieces. And if you go Reggie Bush, there was still a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback on that team. There were great receivers on that team. So he wasn't the only one.
Another great running back in that team, Lindell White.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because they both
Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Lindell added another Lindell to his body when he was in the National
He loved
Football
Del
League.
Taco, man.
Yeah, he did. He
He got to Nashville, too, and just everything on Broadway looked so appetizing.
Yeah, he was just bigger. But it's funny because I said Reggie Bush because of the dynamic way he played the game, because he could beat you running, get out of the backfield, catch it, and take off. But angry runner AP, hard to argue with that one. And, of course, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I just think Barry Sanders is the obvious one. So my choice is going to be after Barry Sanders.
Right.
So the rest of the group, I would probably take. Man, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. AP's.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one.
Pretty special.
All right, so here's the question.
You know what? I think I'm going to go with Bo, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And your reason?
Over Herschel, believe it or not.
Yeah, your reason?
And Bo actually wasn't the only back in that backfield either, because Brent Fullwood was in that back. They ran their wishbone.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I'm going with Herschel.
Yeah,
I'm going with Herschel.
Your reason is just because he
just a force of nature, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
An absolute force of nature.
My God, those thoughts.
Yeah, I mean he's
just a freshman.
Thank you, Munson. Just a guy that when the big games arrived, he was there for them. Led them to a national championship. Led them to 3 impressive seasons. Just he was it. He was everything they had, and everybody knew it, and you still couldn't stop him.
Yeah. That's probably the testament that you're looking at, because today's game and AP was still the number one weapon that Oklahoma had. Let's not get it twisted. But yeah, when
they could still throw the ball.
Yeah,
and they had talent. And I mean, all deference to Buck Bellew, friend of the show.
Yeah, he wasn't tossing.
Buck's not, scaring anybody with his arm. I mean, it was all Herschel Walker. Yeah. Buck would be the first person to say that.
Yeah.
Run through those 5 running backs again.
Reggie Bush,
Mm-hmm.
AP, Barry Sanders,
Okay.
Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson.
And again, this is based off college.
Mm-hmm.
This is a transfer portal.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer when it comes to the transfer portal, while certainly you can get guys to develop, they need to be plug and play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Barry Sanders.
Yeah, it's
the
hard.
reason I'm going with Barry Sanders, and even though this is college, and I was not alive for when Barry Sanders was in college, as his time in the NFL is a testament to, and his time in college as well, he could carry the load. He's a plug and play. He doesn't need a whole lot around him. Everything else around him could be failing him, and he will still find a way.
Yeah.
And Bo was good, boy. But I keep thinking about Bo.
He was tough.
I mean, if Bo played in the Georgia offense where it's I formation, he's 7 yards deep, and he's getting that toss every play, I mean, get out of here.
Yeah.
It'd be the same
I
thing.
made War Eagle mad when I said I saw him disappear in a couple games. And look, he had to fight injuries and whatnot, but his whole career, everything he did collegiately and then he did on baseball fields and NFL fields is still just crazy good. All right, now
Maybe the greatest athlete of our generation, actually.
Yeah. You put Dion up there too.
Now, they had honorable mentions. I'm going to give you the honorable mentions.
Okay.
Yeah, because some people on the text line
I'll give the honorable
feel you
mentions.
left some people
Well,
out.
it's 4, actually. Got Ricky Williams at Texas.
Yeah, because he was the nation's leading
Yeah,
rusher.
Yeah.
Great
Christian
college player.
McCaffrey at Stanford.
Yeah, what he did there.
Awesome.
Derrick Henry at Alabama.
Heisman Trophy
and,
winner.
Eddie George at Ohio State.
Yeah, Eddie George is really good. I'm trying to remember. We'd have to look at yards and all that kind of stuff and really boil it down. But Eddie George, not as dominant necessarily as maybe Herschel coming out of the backfield, but you still
Eddie
saw
George was like a grinder.
Yeah, but
A
you still
really
saw
good
those
player.
Those high knees.
Yeah.
Those high knees coming out of the backfield.
Yeah,
whenever they
a really
were,
good player. He's not at the level of Herschel and Bo and
No, I wouldn't.
and the rest of those guys. Not even close.
I wouldn't think so. And by the way, you start looking at Herschel's numbers, and he bounced around USFL, NFL, all that. He had some pretty good numbers in the professional game too.
Yeah.
All right, now this is an exercise. I'm going to give you NASCAR now, Leon, because you just named from old school legendary names. And the game obviously still produces great stars like Christian McCaffrey. But let's do a little perfecto with NASCAR here, okay? From the Atlantic to the Pacifico!
Perfecto!
That music always puts you in a good mood. You can just go and order up a cold Pacifico, found in Baja, imported by surfers for those who live life anchors up. Now, we still have stars every single year coming out of our college game into our professional game. But just to give you an idea of what Daytona is dealing with in terms of superstars, there are 7 active drivers in the Daytona 500 that have won the Daytona 500. How many can you name?
Jimmy Johnson.
Wow.
How
Austin
many
Dillon.
can you name? All right, we can ding Jimmy. We can ding Dillon.
McDowell.
McDowell, probably one of the surprise ones of like Leon and Matt are like, McDowell who?
I'm just going through guys that I watched them win.
Graham McDowell.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, okay, yeah. No, that's not him. Not the restaurateur.
Denny
I
Hamlin.
haven't followed NASCAR in a long time.
Yeah. Denny is a ding. Denny is the most decorated of the bunch. If you're picking anybody to get back there again, he's won
Sadler?
3 Daytona 500s.
Elliott Sadler.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Throwing out names.
Who was
Danica
the
Patrick.
There was a young kid 2 years ago, the 2022 winner. He was a first timer.
Yeah, there's a lot of first timers.
We've had a couple of
never
first
do
timers
anything.
not to be heard from again,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember of the 21-year-old,
Well, Bubba Wallace was like in front, and then this young kid just kind of.
but the 21-year-old that went down there and won, you never heard from him again.
Who's the cat who drove the Woods car to the title? The Woods brothers car?
That, going back in time, probably would have been.
Oh, so it wasn't like 10 years ago?
No. Michael
Is
Waltrip,
Kevin
maybe?
Harvick
No.
still racing?
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
Harvick is still racing. Yes, JJ.
But never
Oh,
waved
he
the
never
flag.
Yeah, he never won.
Wow.
He never won. He got into a lot of fights, but never won. Did one of the Bush brothers win?
Let's see here. Negative.
Yeah, I don't think either of them ever won.
So we are down to
Chase Elliott won the road race.
2 of them.
that
We've
they
got
had.
Denny Hamlin with 3 wins, Jimmy with 2 wins.
Austin
Dillon with a win. Michael McDowell, the surprise and shock.
In 2021.
1 win. And so we still have 3 that you may or may not get.
Okay.
One of them is a former Cup champion.
Dick Trickle.
No, I love the man.
Joey Logano.
Yep, there you go. 1 win at the Daytona 500, a Cup champion. Now we're down to the last
He won that
2.
really early, too.
Leon, do you have any obscure NASCAR names from the 80s or 90s you want to make fun of?
I think JJ stole Dick Trickle from you.
No idea.
Yeah. All right, so here are the last 2. And someone did mention Danica Patrick. It is a relationship.
Oh, yes, it's her boy.
Yeah.
It's the ex-boyfriend. He won 2 years ago.
Last year.
In the blue, yes.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He won last year in overtime, and then the other guy you couldn't remember, but you were on the right track, Austin Cindric.
Yes, the first time.
Interviewed Austin Cindric, and just a nice young lad, but
not a great interview.
Yeah. And so there are those guys that they unfortunately right now they need a superstar to step onto their stage, and I don't know whether that will happen or not, but there's still plenty of good ones to root for, but that's where they're at right now. So there you go, Pacifico with a non-perfecto, but you guys got plenty of them. You got like 5.
Mia was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of Daytona 500s in the last 6 years.
Yeah,
so.
4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
And it also
very gearheadish of you.
Yeah, well,
I have to put, in the words of Tony Khan, I'm a fringe wrestling fan, I'm a fringe Daytona fan, and fringe NASCAR fan for 3 of 52 weeks out of the year, where I gotta get used to saying some of the terminology, if only while I'm within the Daytona Beach area limits.
Well, you got to give it. The ones that have won recently are the ones that this is the problem with NASCARs. They don't have those guys that are dominating these races or the NASCAR circuit. That's the challenge, because Jimmy Johnson's coming back and trying to get in a car and win, and Joey Logano, although he won, isn't won enough to be, or maybe just doesn't have that superstar quality that maybe a NASCAR fan was looking for. And the other guys, Austin Dillon, come-and-go guy, Michael McDowell, great story.
And by the way, the text line's telling us Kevin Harvick retired last year.
Oh,
he was trying to race his way in.
And Trevor Bayne is the Woods brothers.
There you go. Thank you, Trevor Bayne. That's the one. So that matches up with what Matt was looking for.
So I was right about the Woods brothers one, huh?
Well,
but I guess he's not in the. Is he not on tour anymore? Do you call it tour?
Yeah, like I said, he just flamed out.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay.
Trevor Bayne was.
I knew there was something like that happened.
21 years old, and he won, and just never to be heard from again. Basically,
so he's not even driving anymore.
I don't even know. I just know that he's not
working construction and ripping cigs.
Maybe he might be. He might be down there in a little old Vito. All right, Big Search, you are out the door.
I am.
All right, watch a little 500. Just check it out on Sunday.
500.
Well, you're already into the monster truck, so it's an auto vehicle.
Well,
and they turn left a bunch. Just
left
remember
turns.
that. All right.
I remember.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. He is out the door. We head to the 2:00 hour. We say hello to our head coach, Coach Campo, and we'll get to his thoughts on Ryan Nielsen. He was a defensive coordinator for many years of his coaching career, and we'll find out with the newest DC what his thoughts are on him coming up on XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Travis Pastrana here from Nitro Circus Live, and you're listening to 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jack Sports Radio.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
It's Mardi Gras all February long at the Blue Crab Crab House. About Creole and Cajun entrees like blackened redfish with creamy shrimp sauce, oysters Bienville, shrimp étouffée, shrimp and sausage gumbo, Creole fried catfish. It goes on and on and on. It is the one, the only Blue Crab Crab House. February, non-stop Mardi Gras. The Blue Crab Crab House, right off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
Did you know Prime Roofing manufactures, fabricates, and installs their metal roofs? If you're thinking about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Schedule an estimate today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I know Honda, they're so cool on the road and off the road, but guess what? Tell them about them being on the water.
There is an all-new Honda boat coming out. We went out and partnered with Scout, who's been making the finest holes in the business for years. They're fuel-efficient, dynamic, and class-leading.
So Honda is in the boat business, and you will see boats coming to Cycles of Jacksonville soon.
We will have them in the spring, ready to go.
CyclesofJacksonville.com. Keep track of all of it. Find them on Atlantic near Regency.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll-and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The First Coast Games is an annual corporate challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals, with some friendly competition, of course. Registration is now open through the First Coast YMCA for both recreational and challenge divisions, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com. Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only 150-milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
After years of discomfort, it's like I'm alive again.
Sonia Hackett talks about how QC Kinetics changed her life.
QC Kinetics has given me my quality of life back.
Before QC Kinetics, Sonia suffered from horrible knee and back pain stemming from a car accident.
I was wearing knee braces just to try to maneuver around.
Sonia hated the idea of pain meds, and surgery seemed too risky, so she turned to the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, the leaders in advanced regenerative medicine.
That consultation just changed my life. I can do the treadmill, everything. I don't have anything holding me back. The quality of life is pain-free. QC Kinetics has made us very happy.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
I'm going to get emotional again. They are like family members to me. They care.
Call QC Kinetics now.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update. New Jaguar defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen on Thursday gave some insight on the team's personnel.
Philosophy with the players is we're going to put the player in a position that he can have success first over the scheme. And so we're going to evaluate everything that he does well.
In area college sports, UNF Osprey men's basketball team will take on Kennesaw State. Game time is 7 p.m. Saturday, Edward Waters College will head up to Savannah to face the SSU Tigers. And the JU men's basketball team faces Queens, North Carolina this evening. You can hear the game live on 1010XL starting with the pregame at 6:45. The Icemen opened the weekend at home against an Everblades team that's locked in a battle with the Orlando Solar Bears for the fourth and final playoff berth from the East Coast Hockey League South Division. The puck drops at 7 p.m. this evening at 5-Star Veteran Memorial Arena. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com.
Our head coach is in, ready to crank it out. Ground. Get it running. Coach Campo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I've been busy. I've gotten like 10 calls to go on the radio and the TV over in Dallas over this Zimmer hire.
Yeah,
it's wearing me out. My wife said, "Look, don't do anymore. Just say you won't do it."
Say, if you need me, you'll find me on XL Primetime on Tuesdays and Fridays.
There you go.
And the Campo and Joe
there
podcast.
you go. That's what I need to do.
There we go.
So you got shut down.
Yeah,
which is not bad.
No,
you got shut down.
Yeah. Well, listen. They're all excited over there. We'll see how it works out.
Well, it's funny because they need something to be excited about.
Exactly.
Since JJ, we got to play this soundbite with DeMarcus Lawrence since it's topical right now. Just let me know when you got it, because Mike Zimmer is now being brought in. He coaches with a little fire.
He does.
He replaces Dan Quinn. The last product we saw that Dan Quinn put out, as far as defense is concerned, pretty dang pathetic against the Green Bay Packers. Anyway, he gets the Washington Commanders job, and I think you said this. You might have said this on the Campo and Joe podcast, that we got to judge whether or not Zimmer's personality is going to go there. Listen to this comment from one of the stars on the defensive side and tell me whether or not Zimmer's going to be able to deal with this.
All honesty, I think the main thing is we was burned out, man. Long season, team dominantly healthy throughout the season. The legs get tired, but also, you got to give hats off to Green Bay, man. They came out with a great game plan, rolling out towards Micah and then running away from me. I feel like, that's what they needed to, get their game started, and they jumped on us fast. And
what about adjustments?
Yeah, adjustments, man. Feel like we went in the locker room and, we came out, ready with our adjustments, but still didn't go the way that we planned it to go.
Legs were tired.
Long season. Legs are tired.
I don't know if there's a lot of lions over there right now. There might be some that are in the zoo, like
Leon's
like
analogy
Leon says.
the other day.
Well, Zimmer's looking for the lions that are ready to hunt when they wake up. Yeah. And, the one thing about him, I'm not sure, he's been away a couple years, but he's a smart guy, and he's adaptable. Mm-hmm. And when I say adaptable, he's not going to really change who he is, but I think he understands that, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen the first day he walks in there. The only thing he's got to his advantage is he's got street cred.
Yeah.
He's got a Super Bowl ring.
Up. Yeah.
He's got a Super Bowl ring, and he's coached some really good players on some really good defenses.
And he's got some really good dudes there right now, too.
There's
That's
good players
happen, right?
there. Yeah, I think what he'll do that maybe Dan didn't do over the course of the thing is, first of all, he just hired Paul Genther as his D-line coach.
Yeah,
and,
he's been around.
And Genther has been a coordinator in the league, but he's a tough run kind of a guy. And I'm not sure they had that there. And they had pass rushers in the front. He'll get rid of the tackles. He'll get a couple guys that can rush.
They got roasted by the run.
Yeah. Well, they had small linebackers. Once they lost 55, I can't think of his name.
Later Van Der Esch.
They lost the only big linebacker. They had safeties playing a lot. Well, that's okay if you got run-stopping defensive linemen in front of you. But they got hammered.
All right, Matt, jump in on Ryan Nielsen because we need to get into him now.
So, just your overall thoughts of what you heard from him yesterday. We kind of made a joke that literally the first 2 words out of his mouth were aggressive and attacking, which every new defensive coordinator says.
Yeah.
Your overriding thoughts about him, and the fact what I really liked was when he said, "Look, we're going to find what Trayvon Walker does best, and that's what we're going to do. If that means outside, he's outside. If it means inside, he's inside." And that's I like that because look, he's now finally starting to develop into this position. Don't screw it up at this point.
Well, I think that's the key. I think the thing that stuck out to me more than anything, and anytime you do a press conference when you first walk into a job, whether you're a head coach, D coordinator, offense coordinator, there's D coordinator talk. It's coach talk.
Right.
Okay, so some of that was in that press conference. The thing that really stuck out to me, I think, is it was kind of the matter-of-fact way he presented himself. I thought he was you can tell that he has a personality to deal with up in front of the room and how he approached that press conference. And he really didn't, in my mind, he didn't put a lot of flour into it. It was just matter of fact. Here's what we're going to do. And what you said about finding what the guys can do, that's important, really important, because it doesn't happen overnight. You just can't walk in there and say, okay, we're going to throw. I believe that Caldwell, and I think he's a good guy, and he's probably a good coach, okay? But I think he just did what he learned as opposed to looking at the players they have. And he wasn't going to – I mentioned this before. The first year that I took the coordinator's job in Dallas, I did exactly what we did the year before. But I knew the players, and I knew what they could do.
Sure.
But I wasn't going to just invent the wheel until, we'd just come off the NFC Championship,
right.
And 2 Super Bowls.
It ain't broke, don't fix it.
And so I think that he went in with the idea that I'm going to do what we've done with Todd Bowles or whatever, but I don't think he ever tweaked it.
He never said, this is my personnel, circle, peg, square, hole.
Exactly.
Well, go to what you said about Doug Peterson looking for the Todd Bowles type of guy.
I believe Coach heard that as well from some folks he's spoken with down at the building, that, Doug wanted the full Todd Bowles, and he felt like he didn't get it.
Correct.
He didn't get that pressure, that attacking mindset. There is no question after yesterday. That is Ryan Nielsen's first goal, above all else, is to create havoc for the opposing quarterback. Right. And I actually said this earlier, how, someone on the text line, Coach, asked about Trayvon dropping into coverage, and, understandably, he has to do that sometimes, but everyone in the world wants him going forward at a quarterback.
Right.
And I said it came across as that will be what happens regardless of where he's lining up along the line.
Well, if that's the case, that means that he's either going to move or they're going to go to a 4-3.
Yeah.
It's one of those two things, because you can't have him at outside linebacker in a 3-4 and say that he's going to rush the passer the majority of the time. It just unless they're going to kick him down in some way, shape, or form where he's putting his hands on the ground, that won't happen. In my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Another philosophical question from Nielsen for you. Trent Baalke was validated yesterday when kind of when Nielsen was asked to describe man versus zone, and he says to Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union, "I'm glad you see it, that it's it's both." But he said, "My defense has zone principles, but the outside is tightly covered. Tight press man coverage on the outside."
Yeah, that's quarter coverage. That's what it is. It's a combination of man and zone. It's going to be interesting to see, because I haven't looked at a lot of tape, but I know they press the corners. Well, we pressed the corners all the time and played zone behind it. So it really comes down to, he's going to play what his guys can do. If he can't press, he's going to play off.
Right.
I mean, he has no choice. but that's got to be something that they look at and how they approach that.
That's going to be something you address not only in the draft but free agency as well, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Absolutely.
There are specific areas in this team that need to be addressed immediately as far as day one starters immediately. Not guys, well, we'll bring him in, we'll see if he can compete. No.
Right.
They got to play right now.
I would say that's true, and especially I think Doug is going to be looking at things that way because, he's in his third year, and now it changes from.
Well, everybody's window is closing right now.
Well,
the franchise, the coach, the players look on their fourth year looking for new deals.
Yep.
Everybody's window is changing this year.
Right. So I think they're going to have to make some changes in order to get cap room because they're going to have to do another little bit of a run in free agency, I believe.
Good segue there because I want to talk about free agency versus the draft. Where do you address these needs? We can get into the 10-10XL draft guide a little bit and maybe some hidden gems that Coach Campo has found in his draft preparation.
They were in the bottom area of the National Football League in yards allowed and points, so they got to fix it. Right. So let's get into that coming up. It's XL Primetime. Coach Campo hanging out with us right here on a beautiful Friday.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Life is a contact sport.
Get in the game with 1010XL. Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Hey there, it's Mia O'Brien. Do you really want to spend your precious time this weekend by washing dirty windows and unclogging gutters? Heck no. Call my friends at Window Gang, America's #1 cleaning company, and go do something fun this weekend. With over 35 years of experience, Window Gang knows clean like no other. These are professionals who truly know what they're doing, bringing their expertise to your home or business. What sets Window Gang apart, you ask? It's not just about the cleaning. It's the courteous and friendly service. Always on time, satisfaction guaranteed. They are not done until the job is done right. And they offer a full range of services, from window and blind cleaning to gutters, pressure washing, roof and house washing, dryer vent cleaning, and even chimney sweeping. Plus, they're environmentally friendly. Check out their stellar Google reviews online and call their super friendly staff at 262-7300 to schedule your free estimate. Yes, I said free. That's 262-7300. Window Gang, where service goes beyond your expectations.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
If it's time to update your old, unreliable AC system, then make the bold move to Bold City Heating and Air. Local family ownership means Bold City AC can provide fast, premium service with a more competitive price. And listen to this. Call to get your new AC system installed this month and take advantage of 12 months with no payments and no interest financing. That's a whole year of no payments with no interest on your new AC system. So be comfortable, be bold, and schedule a free estimate today at boldcityac.com.
The red-hot Jacksonville Icemen are back at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena this Friday and Sunday. The Icemen kick off military weekend Friday at 7 against the Florida Everblades. Watch them wear special military-themed jerseys. Sunday at 3 is a Publix Family Fun Day, and fans can come down on the ice and take a shot on net after the game against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Get tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksonvilleIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Icemen hockey is #FireWithin.
There's a reason it's called Student Athlete.
Listen for the High School Scholar Athlete Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
Hey, any big plans for today?
Yup, checking out Target's 4-day sale.
Oh, for what?
For scoring 20% off.
For 20% off?
For everything you need for spring. 20% off tees, jeans, and shoes. Even select bedding, bath, storage, and more.
Wait, for real? For how long?
4 days. That's the name of the sale. Target's 4-day sale.
Ah, the 4-day sale. Count me in for sure.
Don't miss Target's 4-day sale. Ends Monday. Restrictions apply. See Target.com for details.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins. 354-5645.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Piece of the weekend, a guy that Matt and myself were talking with Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players, about yesterday, coming back from injury, Will Zalatoris. Nice. On the par 3, I'm trying to see what hole this is. I believe it's hole 4. And they had to literally have a car for him and his caddy to get them to the green.
That's good for him because he can't putt worth a damn.
Correct, which Lee did openly admit yesterday. So hey, at least we're all on the same page. Tiger Woods not teeing off until 2:25, you said. Yes, Joe?
Yeah, 2:54.
2:54.
I'm pretty sure he's right before the 3 o'clock hour. Yeah, so in Ace, and it's at the 14th, the par 3 14th, which is they got 2 really meaty par 3s on the back 9. So that's good to see. He had herniated disc and had to have surgery on him, and so he has the long one because his putting stats are pretty pitiful. So he definitely needs as much help as he can get.
Maybe one for Dr. George Barry next week when he joins us. But for now, of course, we are joined by our head coach, Dave Campo. 2 more segments, to go on this Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday. And, Coach, we were just discussing ways for the Jaguars to create their roster in the image that Ryan Nielsen would like for it to be on the defensive side of the ball, while also still paying attention to the holes on offense and also the growth of Trevor Lawrence and that 2021 rookie class, all of whom, outside of Trevor and Travis, will be approaching the final year of their rookie contracts. And so I asked this question earlier, and I'll ask it of you as well. Big picture. I understand that, not everything is black or white when it comes to, we're going to fix the offense through the draft and we're going to fix the defense through free agency. But where do you see the starting point being for this team as it looks to March when free agency begins and then April with the NFL draft?
Well, first of all, the key to this whole thing is going to be what happens with Trevor Lawrence. So, you could say whatever you want. The defense got to get better. And they have to look to the defense to make sure that they get some guys that can play in certain areas. But to me, it starts with the offensive line. And many times unless you're taking somebody in the first or the second round, you better take somebody in free agency if they're out there that is ready to play. If you're trying to do something within a window, within a 1 or 2 year deal where, the head coach is at the end of his deal, and there's a lot of things involved there. To me, I haven't had a chance to look at the free agency thing the way it should be. But if you're looking at the draft, the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look. You got to do one or two things, in my opinion. If there's not a free agent that really helps you when you have to go through the draft, I want to look at the tackles that are out there, and there's about 7 of them that are probably going to go in the first round, and I want to see which ones could move to guard. That's the first thing I would look at.
So you're saying
Troy
athleticism
Fatanu, Graham
and
Barton.
toughness.
And physical,
Yeah.
okay? Because the interior, the offensive line has to get fixed. So however it's fixed, I'm not sure it's Cam Robinson coming back and Little going to guard.
Right.
That didn't show up to me as being a real fix. So
you need to get mean at that guard position.
That's the first thing I would look at. The second thing I would look at is if the kid from Oregon, the center, I might go against all things of taking an interior offensive lineman in the first round if he's the guy.
And look, a lot of people have him mocked with that 17th pick overall.
Johnson is his name, right? Jackson
Powers Johnson.
Right. And I saw him play.
Right.
He's a center that can play in the National Football League.
And he also proved at the Senior Bowl he could play guard.
Yeah, right. He can do either.
So that's where I think it's a very interesting conversation, because Matt even asked this earlier. Do you really think they would draft a center and admit they were wrong with Luke Fortner and also already write off Luke Fortner after 2 seasons? I am in Matt's camp that I don't think they're going to completely write him off, even if Jackson Powers Johnson is there and they select him at 17, because they will stick Powers Johnson at guard, which in turn, what do we say about the best way of pressure and creating diamonds and forcing that will light a fire, is their hope, under Luke Fortner, while also strengthening the interior and making his life easier too.
Yeah. And that's a legitimate, maybe a logical thing to do.
Right.
I know this. They have to get better at center. I think they can put a couple of guys at guard, maybe, whether it's Hodges or whatever. But they have to get better at center.
Right.
That's the first thing in my mind.
Yeah.
So you think, okay, but by saying that, you think that they probably don't have the ability to wait on Fortner? Is that what you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, he regressed.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt.
So in my mind, there's an issue. I mean, when a guy regresses, you got to say either they're not coaching him, which I think they do coach. I've seen this guy, Rauscher. I believe he can coach. But when you regress, that's a bad omen, especially when you said, oh, we know he's going to get bigger, stronger, make a jump between number
first year and second year, right? That's the biggest jump typically, right? So you then, as a former coach, and a guy who's dealt with personnel, would think, all right, it's time to move on. He's regressed.
Well, it's time to really take a look at who's out there and what's available.
Right.
And to me, if they don't fix the interior of the line, then
we're in for a problem
we're
in
in a
this
little
town.
bit of a problem.
Right, and by move on, I also mean you're not going to cut him. He's not the starter anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
He's going to be a swing guy and
he's
whatever.
Center Ty Shalley.
Yeah.
He becomes Ty Shalley or any of these other guys that become backups. But they can, if they were to go free agent in the interior part of the line, they're going to have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so you have to really prioritize. But if you don't do that, then in the draft, we've said it 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways. You better get it right, because if you were to draft a guard and keep Luke Fortner there, then you have 2 players with 3 years of experience or less.
Correct.
And you got to be saying goodbye to Brandon Sheriff. You did okay when you got Ezra Cleveland, so you have him as an option, but you need to, at the very least, turn the leaf on 2 of those 3 positions.
Right. And the other thing, if there is a guy at tackle, you take a tackle in the first round.
Yeah.
If there's a first-round tackle out there that could move to guard,
correct,
then you've created something for the future as well.
The best ability,
the best guy,
availability.
there may be a tackle that can do that. That's a better player than the center is or whatever. Then you have to, in my mind, you have to take the best player.
Yeah, because the guy, just as far as one of the mock drafts is concerned right now, you have the Oregon center going 17th, Jackson Powers Johnson, and then the next guy is Oregon State's tackle who could move to guard in Waga.
Right,
Yeah.
Or Washington, the tackle, Fatanu.
Yeah, they do
who's
have
expected
both
to
of
move to
those
guard.
guys kind of at least seeing the versatility.
And see, I don't have that. I can't make that answer because I haven't seen him yet. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm still in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hoopla.
It's still the same week. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't.
Well,
I haven't moved
we've
on.
moved on, Dave.
But the guys that I've seen in college,
right?
And one of them is that center.
Yeah.
I've watched Oregon about 3 times this year.
They're fun to watch.
He's a fun kid to watch for sure.
He's quick. He gets on you quick.
Oh yeah, and he's physical. I mean,
Well-
he's a tough guy.
One name that you floated in the later rounds for our 1010XL draft guide roundtable this week, Cedric Van Pran out of Georgia, somebody that dog fans are very familiar with,
Right.
3-year SEC starter. And so from what I'm reading from you is if you were to go with a Fawaga or a Fatanu who gives you that tackle guard versatility in the first, you still circle back in the third or the fourth and you go get Van Pran to compete with Luke Fortner.
Yeah, and there's no question. I mean, and I'm just saying that if there's nothing there, that's the position that I think you have to get better at. However you do it, that has to happen. And I'm with you. I mean, nothing says that kid can't rally.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not counting on that. Not after seeing him regress.
You can't afford to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially when your quarterback's getting clobbered and he's
and-
now becoming more and more uncomfortable. He
Right.
might even be becoming a little gun shy to stay in the pocket.
At the
That's
very
real.
least, you have to give him competition that you believe will beat him out, right?
Correct.
So that will at least force him to play better.
Yeah, that's my feeling. So when you ask that, I mean, there's other needs. I mean, I think we need a more physical defensive interior as well. I mean,
Right,
but
right.
I mean, and we may need a press corner. Who knows? But I know that has to get fixed. And I promise you that Doug Peterson is going to try to fix the offense.
That's got to be
however
first, right?
it is.
Well, it's got to be first because of Trevor.
Absolutely.
You cannot
That's
have your
what I'm
quarterback have
saying.
60 turnovers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be fixed.
And I can't, I'm trying to pull this number from memory, but 60 for Trev in 3 years, 60 total. Justin Fields, as much as they're ready to ship him out of Chicago, only has 30 over a 3-year period. Now, those are interceptions. That doesn't include fumbles. And it also, he wasn't the full-time, but still, that's half.
Yeah. Well, do you guys know how? What's the? I should have looked at this because I knew I was going to get asked it. But what's the number of interceptions to fumbles for?
Let me pull it up right now.
Yeah.
For Trevor, because to me, it looks like except the end of this year when he was hurt, that fumbles were more evident as turnovers than interceptions were.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm okay with interceptions.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
the
okay with
fumbles.
fumbles. Yes,
It's the fumbles.
are that's the
Right.
problem.
Right.
He had 14 interceptions this year, 8 his second year, and 17 his rookie season.
Interceptions are going to happen. If you have a good quarterback and he's trying to make tight throws, it's going to happen. I'm fine with that. It's the fumbles that makes me crazy. That is literally a disregard.
Fumbles are
So that's
9 his first year,
So that's
12,
22.
12 the second year, 12 the third.
See,
year.
that's ridiculous.
That's
okay. So
33 fumbles,
listen,
man.
I got news
That's
for
no
you.
bueno.
It's a lot easier to fix the fumbles, in my opinion, than it is the interceptions.
Yeah.
Because,
Wow.
like you just said, interceptions are going to happen. You can be smart about what
And
you
he'll
do.
get better as a thrower.
Yeah.
with anticipation.
So to me, it's keep the pressure off him in the middle,
Yes.
not the outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when he's healthy, he can take advantage of the outside guys.
And can start
he
to
can
move
run.
and run.
He can move.
Yeah.
And if you create little creases inside, he can run, just like Mahomes, just like Purdy did in the championship game. He has that. Not the Super Bowl, but the the championship
Plus,
game.
if you're solid in the middle, he can move in the pocket.
There you go.
A step right, a step
to me,
left,
that's
step
the
up.
biggest. That's the biggest issue. There's no question in my mind.
All right, I know before we're done, I got to head to the PGA Tour, but I know you want to get back to the Super Bowl because you were in great Super Bowls, and so how great is Mahomes? And maybe you might even answer that question about just that defense was just mauling Mahomes in the beginning of this game and then just completely lost it in the second half.
Yeah. We'll
keep it rolling. XL Primetime. I'm headed to the PGA Tour, but Coach Campo hanging out with Matt and Mia.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. He's big on the NFL.
Are you serious?
He's big on the Jags.
It's huge for all of us.
He's just plain big.
He is a big one.
Mike Dempsey.
Oh, yes, sir. He's a very bad man indeed.
Jaguars Today, 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville is excited about the new 2024 all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
We have over 11 in stock with more on the way.
Come in today to test drive the all-electric Lyriq. It's an experience like no other.
And if you drive home with one today, we'll take $7,500 off your new Cadillac Lyriq at signing.
That means no need to wait for the end of the year tax credit. You get the $7,500 today.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Plus tax tag title, $8.99 admin fee and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Picking here, the Borland Groover Foundation proudly presents the annual March to Get Screened 5K race and 1 mile fun run. Sunday, April 14th, the race starts at 7 a.m. under the Fuller Warren Bridge. Their mission, raise awareness about colorectal cancer and related deaths. All proceeds benefit the Borland Groover Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
All Jags, all NFL.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Everything you need to know about your hometown team. Jaguars Today, every weekday from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Did you know Prime Roofing manufactures, fabricates, and installs their metal roofs? If you're thinking about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Schedule an estimate today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at goosehead.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and I always tell you, hey, what's hot on the street, but what is hot on the water right now?
We've got some big news from Honda. They have a boat coming out, and much like they did with their jet, they went out and partnered with an industry leader in Scout Boats. He's making the hull for them, but everything else in the boat is all Honda.
So you're talking in the next handful of days and weeks, we will see Honda on the water at your showroom.
It'll be on the showroom, and it'll be ready to go.
So log on to cyclesofjacksonville.com. They are in the marine business with Honda. Keep track of it right there on Atlantic near Regency.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Family owned and managed for 20 years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming golfing atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Meet Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Rhino Shield.
Stop paying for paint that doesn't protect. Permanently protect your home with our exclusive ceramic-based coating. Say goodbye to mold, mildew, and algae, and enjoy decades of defense against chipping, cracking, and peeling. Beautifully durable colors on any surface, all backed by our 25-year transferable warranty. Shield now and pay later with 0% financing. Request your free quote today at rhinoshieldjax.com.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Frank Frangie here. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, and I love living here. But I also know how bad bugs are in Florida. So I trust Orange Environmental Services to handle all my pest control needs because they've got the best technicians and effective treatment. Their name may be orange, but they think green. Orange Environmental has been serving the First Coast for over 50 years, and they now offer complete lawn maintenance services. Call Orange Environmental Services for peace of mind from bug problems today. Call them at 272-3284. That's 272-3284.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Listen, first 18 years of my life, I never would have expected my father to be requesting that song. Oh, he's loving it, by the way. He just sent me the thumbs up, so thank you, JJ. But here we are, Coach Campo and XL Primetime. They make people do crazy things. And Coach, you alluded to in the previous segment, you're still coming down from the hoopla that was the Super Bowl. So for you, as we put a bow on that and we firmly turn our attention to the NFL draft and the NFL offseason next week, what do you make of the Kansas City Chiefs? Is it a dynasty? Are we fair in saying that now with back-to-back titles and 3 titles in 5 years, that this is the next great NFL dynasty?
Well, I think it's a dynasty now. I mean, to do that, that's already proven that, you're definitely a dynastic team, if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word or not, but yeah. And as long as they've got that quarterback, if they're smart and building around it, because they're going to lose players. I mean, that's one thing that we did in the 90s, losing every time we won, we lost players. And that's the nature of the NFL. But if you've got a good organization, which I believe they do, and you are willing to stir the pot with new guys, if you're a good evaluator and you get the right guys in there, they've got a chance to be pretty good for a long time.
But they're going to have some decisions to make.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, they're going to have to. They might have to let a guy walk, a good guy.
Well,
walk.
They did it with Hill.
Tyreek.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can't keep them all.
I mean, Snead's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Chris Jones is going to cost a lot of money.
I mean, what is Chris Jones sees what Jawan Taylor got. What is Chris Jones thinking he's going to get?
Yeah, and that's a real factor because, to be honest with you, everybody's looking at Mahomes and looking at this guy and that guy, but Chris Jones in that game was probably as important as anybody. I mean, he had 2 touchdown passes possibly that he kept from happening by pressuring Purdy. There were guys open, and he was looking at him. That's where he was going to throw the ball. So, they're going to have some decisions to make, and it's not easy.
Creed Humphrey's coming up too, right?
Yeah, he'll be entering his final year of his rookie deal.
Yeah.
So,
and Trey Smith too, the guard.
Yeah.
Right.
It all comes down to how their draft setup and their free agency, how they've managed the cap. They're going to have to get rid of some guys to be able to pay the guys that get the big money. And if they can do that, they'll be okay. But it does get more difficult. There is windows there. But if you have the quarterback, you're at least you have the number one peg, and now you have to be able to.
Right, that's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Which is what makes this offseason so critical for this team.
Absolutely.
And the funny thing is, we said this last year. We talked about, all right, this is it. You got to make everything perfect around this cat. And now it's more so than ever, right? And I want to be very clear. I'm not giving up on Trevor. I think Trevor Lawrence has got a chance to be a great player in the league. Right. And I don't use that word lightly with quarterbacks. I think he has a chance to be a great player. But I think he's got to work at it, and I think they've got to work at it by helping him become that great player.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think it's not just as simple, but it's important that they have balance on offense with him, okay? And then let him be him. As long as there's, you got the balance, then everything else can come off of that. And he got to take care of his own business. We talked about the fumbles. That's there's no reason for that. He's got to be smarter than that. But,
on the other side of that Chiefs equation, of course, is the San Francisco 49ers. And I don't think we really got this from you on Tuesday. And even if we did, I'll ask it again, because the fallout from the decision to take the ball in overtime has now been so highly scrutinized. The mic'd up segments from both the Chiefs and the Niners players that didn't realize the rules were different in the postseason, the Chiefs players who did know and thus were stunned that the Niners opted to take the ball. Kyle Shanahan saying, well, it's because we would get a third possession if we both scored a field goal, we both scored a touchdown. What did you make of all of that fallout over the last few days?
Well, I think it's 50-50. I mean, you could if they won and it ended up them having the ball the third time, it would have been
looked
brilliant. Great move. To me, it was. I even saw something. I don't know if it was satire or what, that the official said, "Are you sure you want the ball?" I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw that. When he said, "We want the ball," are you sure? So who knows if they said that? I'm not sure. But listen, all those decisions can be looked at after the game is over, and you can make an opinion. It's like, once you know the outcome, then it was a bad move. If you lose, if you win, it was a great move. So it's either here or there to me.
What's your thought process? And I know this gets asked all the time, but what's your thought process on the college overtime versus the NFL overtime? And if you were to tweak the NFL overtime a little bit with the college rules, okay, like maybe start at midfield or start at the 45, does it give the defense a little bit more of an advantage? Because right now it seems like the offense, as long as you can stay on the field, you've got a chance to win in overtime.
Yeah, I think the college one is great because, first of all, it's tougher on the offense because you've got limited space now. That's for me as a defensive coach. I don't have a problem with have somebody having the ball on the 20-yard line in. I'm okay with that. I get a little nervous when it's the 25 to the 35 because that's when they can still take a shot on you.
Right.
But I like those rules. I think the other thing I like about the rules, I don't like the fact that an NFL game during the season can end in a tie.
Yeah,
I don't like that at all. One team needs to win, one team needs to lose. So I like the fact that they go to in college football, there is no tie. One team's going to win. And so I think they could tweak it with that. I don't know. I don't know what the thoughts are with the owners and the competition committee and all that. But I think they did the right thing by changing the rule to where each team, each team gets an opportunity. I mean, that's only fair in my opinion. They were the exact same team at the end of the year. At the end of the game, excuse me. Well, why should one team be able to just take the ball and go down and score and win? Right. I don't like that.
Super Bowl 58 in the books. The NFL's 2023-2024 season officially over. It's time for baseball, Coach Campo. pitchers
Yes.
and catchers reported.
Absolutely.
I won't ask for your full scouting report on the Yankees just yet, but we will head to the Diamond because that is where the Frangie Show is for the final day of the Walk-Off Charities High School Classic at Fort Family Park. We'll check in with them next, coming up on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Some people call it X.
What?
Some still call it Twitter.
Okay, I got it.
Whatever you call it, it's the best place for up-to-the-minute Jags coverage from 1010XL.
Save big at Key Buick GMC with up to $10,500 off all new Buick Enclaves, up to $10,000 off new Buick Envisions. Receive really low APR rates like 0.9% APR financing for 36 months, 4.9% for 48 or 60 months, and 5.9% APR for up to 72 months. Come see the new 2024 Buick Envista in stock and ready to deliver. That's Key Buick GMC on the corner of South Side and Gate, or go to our website, keybuickgmc.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Prosser here. Have you tried selling your home and it just wouldn't go? Have you thought about selling your home but thought the problems were too much? Let me give you your solution. It's chadandsandy.com. How's this for a promise? All right? This is a promise. Your home sold, guaranteed, or they will buy it. Chad and Sandy have the solution for your problems. In fact, they have the promises. So don't worry about required costly repairs. Nope. Pick your move date. Yes, you can. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So many satisfied customers out there. How about Lee and Shelley in Deerwood? We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called because we needed a miracle. We had to move my mom to assisted living and needed money ASAP to pay for it, but Mom's Condo Association was under litigation, which limited the sale to cash buyers only. Chad and Sandy went to work. They had our money 15 days later. Truly a miracle. Call the agents we trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
Get closer to nature.
I'm Jeff Logman with Captain Kevin and Captain Kirk. We take you from the water to the woods.
The Nimnicht Outdoor Show, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services, 7 to 10 every Saturday morning on 1010XL.
Men, suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Frustrated taking pills that don't work? Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Growing up at the beach, I know good shrimp and oysters when I see them. It's local and it's fresh. That's why Mayport CNC Fisheries is my go-to for both. They have local shrimp in stock daily and fresh boxes of oysters. Eat like a local at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Skilled trade jobs are booming, so begin your high-pay, high-demand career today through the Northeast Florida Builders Association. Their apprenticeship program provides paid training in some of the most highly sought-after skilled trades. Get paid while you train. Full-time in carpentry, electrical, HVAC, or plumbing. Plus, earn a 10% raise every year, and the classes are 100% tuition-free. Start your new career today and apply before June 10th at nefbaapprenticeship.org.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2023 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the 2-minute drill. Brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
And yes, I did say final day of the Walk-Off Charities High School Classic. Rain in the forecast already forced the games for tomorrow to move to today. So Lauren Brooks, you guys have a full slate going on at the Bragan Baseball Complex at Fort Family Park, do you not?
That's right, Mia. We certainly do. We have 7 games today. The first has already started. That would be Trinity Christian and First Coast taking on each other in baseball. And then also in baseball, 4 p.m. West Nassau Sandalwood, 7 p.m. Jackson Baldwin. And then at Inglewood at 6 p.m. Ed White at Inglewood. So again, that game got moved to Inglewood because of all the rain, like you said, tomorrow. And then on the softball side, 4 p.m. Bishop Snyder versus Bishop Kinney, 7 p.m. Sandalwood Hilliard. That's on field 1, and then on field 2, we've got Providence versus Fletcher at 3 o'clock, Mandarin versus Nice at 5:15, and Paxson versus Episcopal at 7:30. Did you get all that? Did you write all that down?
Did you get all that, Matt? Did you get all that, Coach Campo?
Yeah, just go out there and watch a lot of ball. How about that?
There you go. That's well said, Matt. So obviously you can follow along with Walk Off Charities online on social, and you can keep up with everything. But yeah, it's a glorious day, a day 5 of us being out here, and we're once again in the Best Bet Fun Zone, and it is just simply a beautiful day. And so certainly, like you said, hopefully everyone comes on out.
No, you will have all the bases covered, pun intended. And Coach, I know we got to get you out there as a lifelong baseball fan, Coach Campo. It is a beautiful facility at Fort Family Park.
Lauren, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I can understand that, but you know what? You don't have to be jealous. You can come out here and hang out with us in the Adirondack chairs. We'll even put you on the microphone.
Eat a hot dog. Yeah,
we need Coach doing the introductions. That'll be when he reads the lineup. Oh man, that would be something else. Maybe next year. Lauren, have a great show, and of course the Frangie Show will be on until 6 p.m. again live from Fort Family Park.
Thanks so much, y'all. Have a great weekend.
That will do it for XL Primetime on a Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday. We will end, as we always do, with our anthem and Big John Henderson. For the Joe Cowart departed off to the PGA Tour, for Leon Searcy, for head coach Dave Campo, and for Matt Hayes and JJ LaSelva, I am Mia O'Brien. We will catch you later.
Come on, Joe. That ain't good enough. You gotta suck the blood out my mouth. Let's go, baby. Whoa!
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your